hand, don't be mistaken. I believe in peace, but I won't be taken. I will not submit to authoritative man. I'm ready to die, but not for love. See the signs appear, it's gonna happen here.
This is Liberty Underground with Alex Snicker, Danielle Alexandra, and Greg Bowen on the 1787 Radio Network.
Well, good morning, Tampa Bay, St. Petersburg, the entire state of Utah, everybody out in Dearborn, Michigan, along with Battle Creek, Michigan, along with Butte, Montana, let's go there, and in Winnipeg, Alberta, Canada, I guess, or whatever. This is Alex, co-host, Liberty Underground, along with me, the Duchess of Doing Stuff, my own personal Wikipedia, a woman that is world-renowned for her love of cheese curds. Danielle Alexandre, how are you doing?
I'm good. That was like the weirdest intro I think you've ever given me.
What's that? Because of the cheese curd comment?
Yeah, because I have no interest in cheese curds.
Really?
Really?
You don't like cheese curds like even a little bit, though.
No.
You ever had some really good cheese curds, though?
No.
Oh, see, you're missing out, though. You know what? We'll go up north one time, and I'll take you to some places where they got some good cheese curds at.
All right.
Fresh cheese curds, by the way. GMO free, of course. GMO free.
Are cheese curds fresh? I mean,
that's like the whole
aren't they by
definition.
nature not fresh?
No.
Can anything that is curd be fresh?
Oh
No.
yeah. No. You guys are missing out on the deal here. You're totally missing out. I'll help you out here though on this. We'll bring Greg too.
I do like cheese curds.
There you go. Also, let me do some introductions here for somebody else that's in the studio right now. It's a very important person. He needs no introduction, at least on the planet Sinister. He's a man that admittedly loves cheese curds, that thinks that the Statue of Liberty should be using laser beams at the top against any monsters that may attack this country, like Democrats and Republicans. His name is Greg Bowen. Greg, how are you doing, sir?
Peachy.
Peachy?
Yes.
I like that you're doing peachy today. I hope that peachiness for you continues for the entire day. And then if you talk to anybody and they ask you how you're doing, that your response is, I'm peachy. What's wrong with you? Like just that though, nothing else. Like, I'm peachy. What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you, huh? You got a problem with my peachiness?
How did peach become the fruit that was chosen to
be like
symbolize happiness?
Yeah, I know. I don't understand that either.
I'm apricot-y.
Feeling a little grape today.
Feeling a little grape today. That's a good point, by the way. I'm glad you guys have brought that up. It's a very important topic and subject that we should be talking about. So, thank you. Appreciate that.
I'm just fascinated by our language and the euphemisms that we use.
So now you're fascinated today.
Yeah. Well, I'm
You're
always
not peachy,
fascinated.
You're fascinated.
Yeah.
Whatever. Don't tell me what to do. Lot going on this week. A whole lot going on this week. You know what? I think we should start off with, neocons, 2 new entries into the presidential campaign.
Yes.
Always nice for them. I can't wait till the moment when libertarians have done so much to take over both parties that basically their candidates are basically the same. Like, how nice would that be, huh?
Yeah.
So now Hillary Clinton's announcement came first. And so she announced in a very, anticlimactic way that she was running for president by putting out probably the most boring 2-minute video I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, there are Sizzler commercials that are like more interesting than her announcement.
That commercial or that little whatever she put out is an insult to America. Okay, and here's why: you're running for president. Like, here's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and start running for president. No crap, bitch. No crap. Oh, you're going to run for president. Oh, who knew that was coming?
Yeah.
I'm going to be, in this whole fake. Here's the thing. Oh, and in the email, by the way, she's been fighting, families and children her whole entire career.
Her press release on when she, announced on Sunday, she put out a press release, and what it says is Clinton has fought children and families her entire career, which I have to say, I completely agree.
It's accurate.
But she definitely missed a word there if she wanted to portray herself in a good light.
I would think that you're right on that.
Maybe the ship has sailed on portraying herself in a good light, and she's just given up on that.
She's just gone for honesty. I've fought children and families my entire career. No, I mean, I have to say, like, her video was so pathetic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. And I love that. I love that a woman who is literally part of the 0.01%, like not even part of the 1%, because like if you want to be part of the 1%, if you make like $300,000 a year, you're part of the 1%. So Hillary Clinton is part of the 0.01% that's funded by the 0.01% completely, has the friggin' nerve to say that you understand like the plight of the poor person or of the downtrodden or of that, and how like this economy's not working for you. Hey, look, I agree with you. You're right. The economy's not working for them. And it was your policies, bitch, that put it that way. It was Obama's policies. It was the Democrat policies that have ensured that it stays that way. So for you to go out there and make this claim of like, I'm part of the part, I'm just for the little guy. Honestly, if anybody believes that, they're retarded. All right? You Democrats, don't come to me with that ever. Ever. Because that is utterly retarded.
They like the little guys because they're easier to step on.
Yeah. You guys are kidding me with this book. I'm so insulted by Hillary Clinton. Like, I just am.
Well, and then she goes on this, I'm just going to road trip it around. And she, and how pathetic is our mainstream media that we have gone on for like 4 days now interviewing the employees at Chipotle because she stopped there.
Yeah. Yeah, she's touring around the country in like an Astro van, stopping at Chipotle, and suddenly I'm one of the common men.
Parking in handicapped parking spots, by the way.
Parking in a handicapped parking spot.
But I guess she's entitled, because she's honestly, I don't think she's parking now.
I
don't want to insult, handicapped people.
I actually like Chipotle, but I have to say, if you are in a very low income, right on that line of needing welfare or being on welfare, you're not eating at Chipotle.
No, you're not spending $8 on a burrito.
Yeah, you're working at Chipotle, but you ain't.
but you're definitely not eating at Chipotle. But and now, like people that tried to go to like her event in Iowa, and they're like, they confiscated our cell phones, our purses. Like that, you have other people that's like, I'm a regular Iowan, and they're like a half a mile away, and this is how close I got to Hillary Clinton.
It's because the last thing they want is another like uncontrolled video of her showing up on the internet.
Well, not just that though, but what's his name? Oh, Ed Schultz. Ed Schultz, yeah, that's his name. Ed Schultz is up there now following Hillary around as well, and he interviewed some people on the street, and I got to tell you, he couldn't find anybody that actually supported Hillary Clinton. And MSNBC is going to be the Clinton PR machine incorporated.
Oh yeah,
but it's just what MSNBC is. I mean,
it's Clinton packed.
Look, everybody's like, well, Fox News is this and Fox News is that, and most of those people are very right in what they say about Fox News. But I got to tell you, MSNBC, that is seriously not only the teapot calling the kettle black, but the teapot calling the kettle bought and paid for by a political party. Because as much as Fox has got Fox and the Republicans are, like two peas in a pod, the Democrats and MSNBC have something that, like, I don't think you'd see that kind of relationship on 50 Shades of Grey.
Now,
right? It's more intimate than that.
Melissa Harris Perry.
That woman should be shot.
She is being. The IRS has now said that she owes them more than $70,000 in back taxes that she has refused to pay.
Yeah. Well, look, you got to look at it, though, is that I really want everybody else to pay taxes to fund this stuff in order to take kids away. I wasn't actually talking about myself because I have cornrows and I'm black, so I shouldn't have to pay taxes because I feel like I'm entitled. That's exactly her thought process on that, by the way. I'll guarantee you that racist bitch's thought process is exactly that. I'm ready to go this morning. I'm ready to fight everybody.
I guess so.
I'm ready to fight everybody.
Like, I'm not paying taxes. I'm still waiting for my 40 acres and a mule.
Exactly. Which I wish they'd give her 40 acres and a mule, like in the middle of Siberia or something. And have her move there. See if we can make a deal with the Russians. Like, give us a chunk out there, and everybody that wants to complain, like Melissa Paris Harry, all right, we'll send you to Russia then. You have a good time over there.
No, the Russians ain't going to take him. The Russians have a special blend of racism going on.
Yeah, like they're for real racist too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't want anybody to look. You can be free to be who you are in this country, or you can be brown, white, red, purple. I don't give a damn. You know what though? I got to tell you this though. When you're an authoritarian psychopath, I want you gone. And you know what? Melissa Paris Harry or Harry Paris or whatever you have
No idea how to say her
automatically
name.
don't like people that use 3 names to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, that's already that's a red flag in my book. Like, if you're using 3, I got to hear what you got to say now because you're probably screwed up. So, like, I'm going to listen to what you got to say. And then these people who think they're so damn smart, like this woman is, who honestly doesn't want to. What is it about MSNBC hosts and not paying taxes? And how are they able to get away with this? I guarantee you right now, you would never see, and this is going to sound weird to say this way, Sean Hannity and Bill O'Reilly better have their taxes paid in full.
I mean,
Matter of fact, they better have paid extra just in case.
but
Screw both of them, by the
listen,
way. I hate them both.
I think there's lots of people around the country that when they see their tax bill go, oh wait, no, how can I make this bill go down? Because that's just human nature. I mean, you work really hard for your money, and you don't want to just write huge checks to people who you don't feel like are doing what you want them to do.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Let me also say this, by the way, because I had to pay my taxes this week, too. And I had my Obamacare fine.
You need a rape kit?
A little bit.
Need a hug?
Maybe that, too. I did have the Obamacare fine, and I want to say this, and I want to be very, very clear about this. I don't think there should ever be a litmus test as to who is or who is not a libertarian. But if you're okay with having a private company or being forced to purchase a product from a private corporation because you simply agree with it, you're not a libertarian. All right? Let's just get that through right now. That if you're okay with what they did with the Affordable Care Act, if you think it's a good idea and that you would have the nerve to even respond in a positive way about what they did at all, then you just aren't a libertarian. I know. I'm
Not even parts of it?
I'm not even.
I think it's the force for having to buy a product.
If you're forced to buy a product from a private corporation, you are not a libertarian. If you're okay with this, and again they'll go, "What about the insurance thing?" Let me get that one MSNBC talking point out there. The example, and I love the example, by the way. I love the example of purchasing auto insurance and purchasing Obamacare, because here's the thing. What is insurance for automobiles? What is that? Do you do that for your oil changes?
No.
Do you do that for your gas?
Nope.
Do you do that for
Spark plugs?
spark plugs? Thank you,
No.
Greg. Spark plugs? Do you do that for fuel filters?
No.
No. So things that are upkeep, like your oil changes. Do you do that for your oil changes? That's
You
a
already
good
said
one.
oil changes, but no, we still don't.
All right. So you
That
still don't.
answer has not changed in the last 30 seconds.
All right. So basically, that auto insurance is catastrophic coverage, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now illegal under Obamacare, by the way. They used to sell plans for health insurance that were catastrophic coverage. Those are made illegal. So you can't equate the two. That and look, if I actually don't necessarily agree with the forcing people to buy insurance, auto insurance. I don't really agree
I don't
with that
agree
either.
with that either.
However, This one is if you're living and breathing, you're required to buy health insurance. Like, I can't just stop. I mean, I guess I could stop living and breathing. And I'm sure that some of these people, even the ones that claim to be libertarians, would rather like that. Authoritarian psychopaths. Which I've only met one, and I don't think that person is really a libertarian at all. But you look for the auto insurance, the comparison. Hey, look, I wish that they would try to solve this problem by making health insurance more like auto insurance.
Right.
It would have been the solution to say, okay, we're just going to say people to buy a catastrophic coverage plan and then go to direct care.
But even then, you shouldn't have been forced to do
Even
it.
then, you shouldn't have been forced to do it. No, you just should have said, we should, talk about that more. The more you know. We do a little commercial on it. Have the government do a commercial saying, hey, you ought to buy catastrophic coverage.
No.
I don't even agree with the fact that they're buying a commercial, but at least it would be voluntary at that point.
We paid our fine for Obamacare because we're not going to do it. And the fine is going to go up every single year. And I think that's the point is that, it's not like with the thing with auto insurance is you could not have a car. You don't have to drive. You can find other ways. You can go, where everybody's owning one car. And then this way you don't have to pay as much and stuff. But with Obamacare, you're not only are you forced for each individual to buy a product, but it's solely based on the fact that you're breathing.
Yeah.
And and then they have to tell you like, well, no, it has to cover all of these things, like things that you will never ever use. You, Alex, are never going to use maternity coverage in healthcare ever, ever, ever. But you have to buy it.
Yeah. No, it sucks, man. It really does. And these authoritarian psychopaths, which is exactly what they are just quite okay with that. You need to be fined. You need to be fined. Like, and I hope they understand this. The reason that they have the fine is to take money away from poor people. Because the majority of the people that don't have health insurance are poor people. So they're like, if you're not forced to go and buy the product, then we're gonna take the money away from you. Look, a lot of these poor people, if they had the money, would have bought health insurance.
Right.
It's unfortunate that the government's made it so damn expensive, which they did. Again, we can blame the private companies on why it's so expensive, and there's a point to be made there. But the real solution is actually pretty damn cheap. The real solution is like $50 a month.
Yeah, and that is what we're going to go into, and we're still going to take the penalty every year because it doesn't qualify. But we're going into a direct care situation where we pay a doctor a certain amount every month, and then we get unlimited, visits to the doctor and everything else. So, we ended up with a solution that's much cheaper for our family. And
it's cheaper than the free clinic.
It is cheaper than the free clinic. And we'll be able to have a doctor at our fingertips 24/7 because we get access to a doctor 24/7. So, it ended up being cheaper. We are going to be covered. We are still getting health care, which was the whole point of Obamacare, that everyone have health care. We are going to get that, but we're still going to be penalized from the government.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And this year our penalty was like, a little over $500, but that's going to go up every single year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, it's going to go up. It's going to double next time. Yeah, it'll double.
It'll double, I think.
Yeah, it's 1% now. More than double. 1.5 times, because I think it's 2.5% next year.
Yeah.
And again, here's the other thing. Republicans, screw you too. And here's why. All your fake votes annoy me, and you own the purse strings, you could have just defunded it. But instead, you kept it going. And you know why you kept it going? Because deep down, you actually like it.
Yeah.
Which is the one argument that the people on the left have that I have. They don't have that argument with me, but they have it with others that they can say, well, you guys didn't mind it when it was, when Heritage put out a piece in support of it. Remember that. Heritage Foundation actually liked the individual mandate. When Mitt Romney did it in Massachusetts, they made him the presidential nominee. So let's make sure we get that straight. Romney, who did the exact same thing that Obama did, but on a statewide level, which, look, again, there's argument to be made back and forth on whether going statewide, they both suck. There's no getting around that, though. But what they did was they took a guy that was doing something that the majority of the base doesn't like. that the politicians thought was a bad idea and that have been running against it for so long, and they said, let's make that guy the presidential nominee. What were you going to say?
Well, I mean, but it's different, we're complaining about this because obviously we just had to pay the penalty this week. So we pay the penalty and, complaining about having this penalty paid, and then for someone to bring up Romney or anything like that, listen, if I had to pay a penalty to the state of Massachusetts, I'd absolutely be like, Romney is a jerk. But at the end of the day, we didn't pay a penalty to the state of Massachusetts. We paid it to the federal government. We don't live in Massachusetts. And the reason why we don't live in Massachusetts is because there's a bunch of jerks up there running the state of Massachusetts that run it like a socialist country.
That's one of many reasons why I don't live in Massachusetts.
There's
I got a whole list.
But that absolutely stupid politician is one of them.
But at least I have a choice in the state of Massachusetts to be like, hey, you guys are going down a path that I don't like, so I can either try to change it, and then if that doesn't work, leave, or not go there, and you'll see more people not go to Massachusetts because they're like, hey, you guys suck. But you can't get away from it when you do it nationally, and that's the problem with national programs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're absolutely 150% right, man. You really are. And it really irks me to no end that, this is what we're dealing with, though. This is what we're dealing with these people. Which, look, man, we got to do at the end of the day, so whatever. But, boy, we got way off the topic.
You did, because Hillary Clinton was not the only announcement.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, man.
Hold on, let me announce this, though. And now, coming into play for the 2016 presidential election, the great neocon hope, your favorite Cuban little chicken hawk, Marco Rubio.
That's great.
What's that?
I said that's great. That's great.
Really, next to Santorum, the most evil man in politics. No. Next to Santorum and Dick Cheney, the most evil man in politics. The establishment's favorite little
Do boy,
yeah. I was trying to think of a word that was much nastier than that one.
He's like a Cuban Eddie Haskell.
He's like a Cuban Eddie Haskell. Marco Rubio on Monday at the Freedom Tower announces his run for vice president or
cabinet.
position or something like
Secretary of State.
Because honestly, this guy's coming in to be Jeb Bush's cheerleader. That's what it is.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and look, here's Rubio, by the way, just for the record. And I've read a little bit on this. He has gone to all of Romney's people and gotten all of their support to his campaign. So, like, he's not... Everybody's like, well, he's, this Tea Party guy. No. He's not a Tea Party guy at all. It's all come out. Like, if you still believe that, you're an idiot anyway. But and honestly, I'm making fun of people and calling people names today. Let me just go right off the bat and say, I'm going to be calling people names today. It's the truth. Deal with it.
Are you just sick of these people?
I'm tired. I'm tired of it.
Channeling a little Michael this morning.
Yeah.
Just sick of you people.
I'm just sick of you people. I cannot believe that anybody even supports this guy. But there are some people that love him all day long.
It's the hair, man. That's why the Romney supporters are running to him, because Romney has the second best hair in the Republican Party. Rubio has the first.
Their hair is eerily similar.
It is.
Maybe their hair actually hypnotizes people.
They've got that dog boy hair going.
It's like, I will comb it to the side and make it fluffy, and you will follow me.
It's like so perfect. It looks plastic.
What? You guys are out of your minds.
I'm sorry. I don't even know what to say when now Marco Rubio did on Monday. Before he made his official announcement, he had a phone call with big donors.
Yeah.
And his tagline and what he's going with is, I'm uniquely qualified for president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, which as soon as I heard it, because I used to work in a children's church, and and run the children's church, and we always had, like, we would bring in a lot of kids from all around, and we did have some challenged children, some handicapped children, disabled children, and what we would do is say that these children are unique. They're not better, they're not worse, they're just different, and they're unique. And we always used to say the word unique. And so my first thought was, well, yeah, you're unique. And then I was like, no, that's an insult to all disabled children. They are far more qualified for the presidency than Rubio.
Yeah. Now, would you like to hear from the neocon Republicans in South Florida, by the way?
Not really. I've heard enough from
All right,
them.
well, I'm not going to tell you who gave this to me, but a little birdie gave me this, and it was a excerpt of what is going on back and forth with some of the just neocons, not the real neocons in South Florida. So this guy named Ray, R-E-Y, Paul has as much chance as his father, go Marco. Frank says Rand Paul has as much chance of winning as his nut job dad did. Lizette said, "What a disappointment Rand Paul by showing no class. I adore Ron Paul, and it is very sad that his son won't live up to his legacy." Patrick Castronovo, because I'll just give his name because I hate him.
Because I hate that guy.
Ban Rand. And then Scott Broody kind of sums it up very, very well. Infighting amongst ourselves has begun. Blah, 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 blah. Roll out the red carpet from Brooklyn to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Repeat after me, Madam President. No, the reason that they're saying that is because,
the infighting is going to cause a
Yeah.
Hillary victory.
Which I don't know if it is or not.
Listen, this is a primary. They're fighting over, because this is what happens in a primary. Everybody has, listen, I don't have a dog in that fight. Could care less who they choose.
I think they're overestimating Rand's chances by saying he has as good a chance as his father.
Well, that was
I think Ron had a far better chance than Rand.
Yeah.
Look, all I got to say is this: Rubio knows he doesn't stand a chance at winning this thing. He really does. At the end of the day, there's no chance he's got.
He doesn't want to anyway. He would be up against Jeb. Like, he worships that man.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to beat Jeb. He's just doing this for the dog and pony
Well,
show.
hey,
He's
don't-
jockeying for cabinet or
Yeah,
VP.
but don't get me wrong either, by the way, though, guys. You got to remember, this guy does have a little bit of a history of I like to jump in front of the line.
Well, listen,
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to jump in front of Jeb. But that's a firing line when you jump in front of Jeb. But no, listen, I really think that Rubio does want to be president. I think that he's doing this to get his name out there nationally, because while everybody in Florida knows him, not everybody nationally does, because he has kept a low profile in the Senate, and he's done it on purpose because he doesn't want the scrutiny. So he's kept a very low profile in the Senate. He needs to have his name out there. I applaud Rubio for starting his 2020 campaign so early.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
That's a good point, by the way.
But no, he's jockeying. He knows. He's got to know he's got no chance, especially with Jeb in there. But he had a long conversation with Jeb just like a week or so before he announced. So I can guarantee you that he's already made plans on either a VP pick or a cabinet position. This guy gave up his Senate seat because he doesn't plan on needing to go back to the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the part that really, you got to know that's how you know that there's another plan in play.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know. Because if you have no plans on running for the Senate again, it's either president or I'm out of politics?
Which he's not going to be out of politics.
Well, hell no, he's not going to be out
Who's
of
going to
politics.
do the renovations on his house?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, look,
And all you Republicans are going to pay for it.
you got to remember, this guy is literally the great neocon hope.
Oh, yeah.
This is what he is. He is more like McCain and Lindsey Graham than he is anybody else up there.
Yeah.
He is Lindsey McCain and Graham.
No, Lindsey Graham and John McCain.
John McCain and Lindsey Graham. Yeah. Okay. You normally just call him Beelzebub and
Sugar.
and Satan. And Sugar. Beelzebub and Sugar. Because those two people are really evil. I mean, they really are. I mean, let's not mince words here. And John McCain is like personally, like not just politically, like personally, is a complete scumbag. Left his dying wife to get with a rich chick in order to advance his political career. Like, look, I don't know for sure if there's a hell or not, but I got to tell you, like there ought to be. There's probably some things that if you do, you're probably getting like a VIP pass to it. Like, and I got to tell you, I think that might be on the list. I'm not. I'm just saying. There might be a list, and he might be on it, and he might be going down there if it exists. So I'm just. And Lindsey Graham, honestly, you're just. I don't know why you don't champion gay rights. That's all I'm saying. Like, Lindsey Graham should be the champion of gay rights in Washington, D.C. He really should, because he's gay. He's gay. Let's get that all out of the way right now. Lindsey Graham, you're a homosexual. Not that there's a problem with it, though. Look, I support you.
Just admit it. Be happy about it. We'll be happy for you.
You know what? I think that he's pushing these feelings down so much that it kind of reflects in other ways. Like, he's angry because of this, and that's why he wants to bomb brown people. And that's why he wants to have war all over the place, because he can't just live free. Like, I just want to be a dancer. Like, I think that's what Lindsey Graham is all about. So I think we should we ought to do something for Lindsey Graham, by the way. I think we ought to start a come out the closet Lindsey Graham petition drive.
And, we'll be accepting.
I'll accept
Libertarians are fighting for gay rights. The libertarians support him.
Right. Yeah, well, we're fine with who you are, brother.
Yeah, we accept everybody for who they are.
People.
Yeah.
So it's like, since they're all three the same, should we just call them McGramio?
McGramio.
Yeah, McGramio.
McGramio.
That's very good, by the way, Greg. That's very, very good, by the way. I totally support McGramio. Yes, McGramio. Hold on, we got to write that down. I got pen and paper.
McGramio.
I got pen and paper over here.
No, so, Rubio jumps in
Now,
this.
hold on. How would you spell that, though?
MC.
GR.
AHAMIO.
Now, now McGramio, so it's big M,
little c,
big G. Big
yeah.
G, right?
Yeah.
All right, McGramio. Okay. All right.
You got that?
I like this. Hold on. MCG, big M, little c, big G, RAHAMIO.
Yes.
America. Thank you, guys. I love you guys. No homo. I love you guys.
So
A little bit of homo.
Touch of homo.
So, Rubio started his, VP cabinet campaign, his future presidential campaign for 2020 and beyond. And he at least, and I will say this, at least he didn't produce the most boring video on earth.
Yeah. He started better than Hillary, which is weird because, and maybe it's because
Probably got some of the same people working for him.
maybe it's because they couldn't get enough glasses of water lined up for the video.
I saw that he took a drink from that little tiny cup in the middle of his announcement. That was so funny. I died. It was comedy gold to watch that video. I don't think that anybody else was seeing it that way, but
You were, though.
I was dying the whole time.
I don't need the big bottle that I used to have. Now I have a shot glass of water.
All right, guys. I put some first names with the McGramio. So from now on, Marco Rubio is going to be considered Cuban McGramio. Lindsey Graham is going to be considered Sugar McGramio. And John McCain is going to be Red Ass McGramio. Or I was thinking of either Red Ass or Keating McGramio.
Keating McGramio, there you go.
Yeah, let's go with Keating instead. And I hope you get that joke. I know you get that reference. I hope other people get that reference. Just look up Keating 5 and John McCain, and you'll know why. Always great to pull that out. By the way, let's leave on this one because this is not up there, but I do want to mention this as well. Last night, The Daily Show did what I thought was the best teardown of Dick Cheney that I have ever seen.
Oh, I missed that.
If you get a chance, go. I wish the clip was up right now because I would share it.
It'll probably be up.
Go find it. But that clip and that teardown of Dick Cheney is one of the best teardowns ever, and had new information in that I didn't know. Did you guys know who was the Daniel, let me ask you this question.
Sure.
So I want to ask you this. Who is the person that the United States propped up to replace Saddam Hussein?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it was Maliki is his name.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds similar.
That's
yeah,
the guy
I mean,
that they basically kind of...
said that this is who you guys should pick.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to hold an election, but you all should pick this one.
Yeah. Do you know where Maliki was before that?
No.
Iran.
Of course.
That the mullahs liked him and supported him and gave him money when he was exiled.
Well, why not?
For real. Like, are you... Look, and again, the great thing about Jon Stewart and Comedy Central and The Daily Show is they do find the most entertaining way to sometimes really let you know some stuff that's kind of important. Like,
Yeah.
and they do a disservice to how important the information is because they put such a comedic feel on it. But like this, he did this, and he's like, because he's talking about how Dick Cheney went on show and basically said that President Obama gave Iran nukes, gave them nukes, like thinking like literally like Cheney gave Iran weapons in the past, because him and Ali North and all the neocons gave him weapons in the past. That somehow that's the same as what Obama did. And again, I'm not defending Obama. He's a scumbag, horrible person, all this kind of stuff.
But he didn't show up with nukes at Iran like a Domino's delivery guy.
We're changing the name because we do nukes too. And then
30 minutes surrender.
Yeah, and he goes down the list and shows like Dick Cheney talking about this Maliki guy. He's like, well, we like Maliki, we trust Maliki, he's a good guy. We were good with him. And he was being funded by Iran. And you're going to tell me somehow you got a problem with somebody coming from Iran and getting more power. Like, it was really like a takedown using his own words against him. And it was epic. I got to give Stewart credit for this one. It really was an epic takedown. As soon as that comes up, I'm putting that on our website. And we're sharing it everywhere because it was perfect. Anybody that's a halfway neocon, you need to realize, if you support the Republicans, this is what you support. So, at any rate, God, that was awesome.
I found the video. I'll send it over to you.
You send it over to me? Yeah, send it over to me. Put it in the press.
I mean, I haven't watched it, so I can't guarantee, but it's got the headline.
No, I got you.
It's from 4 hours ago.
Yeah,
so I think it's last night.
So this week, just a recap here. This week, we have the establishment neocon pick from the Democrats is in. The establishment neocon Dubois from the Republicans is in because the establishment neocon pick
Because he's not
yet.
a pick, yeah.
He's not in yet. But the Dubois is in right now, the one that will provide cover for that person eventually.
Yeah.
Those two are in. So we're looking at a pretty set field on for president in the neocon area. Like, they've made a big advancement this week in politics. Which,
and I think that we'll find more. I think you're going to see a lot more neocons jumping in as we go. Ben Carson has said that he's definitely going to run, maybe kind of, sort of. He was like, yeah, I'm definitely in this, if everything pans out and I feel like it.
Honestly, I think the guys like Ben Carson are waiting too long.
Yeah, he should have announced 2 months ago at least.
Yeah, I think so. I think Ben Carson, I think it's too late for him. I mean, not that I, care if he runs or not.
Well, not that he even had a shot to begin with.
It is
even Republicans got a problem with gun grabbers.
It is a very passive-aggressive kind of thing that he's doing.
He's a very passive-aggressive guy.
Here's my bid. Vote me, maybe. I don't know.
It's very kind of like,
I talk with a lisp. I actually want to question whether he's black or not. So.
I really, he was like, I am definitely running for president. This was a quote from him over the last week. I am definitely running for president. But I have to look at some things and see if those things are going to work out. I have a team on it and we're going to decide, but this is a definite thing that we may look at possibly in the future. Yeah, exactly.
I do have a golf tournament that I got to go to.
I will tell you, though, I wish there was a way I could challenge his blackness, though. I would like a ruling on this.
He's blackish.
I would like a ruling on this because I don't really believe that he's black.
I don't think the word definite means the same thing he thinks it means.
You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
I wish we could find some libertarians that are black, but like thug black. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, like for real black, like Tupac.
Like we need to recruit Snoop Dogg.
No, blacker than that.
Blacker than Snoop Dogg?
Like more hard though. How about harder? Harder than Snoop, man.
I don't know.
He
Snoop
killed
Dogg
somebody. How much harder do you need him to be?
Well, you know what I'm saying though. Like you know what I mean. Like
He went on to WWE,
like,
and he, you know.
well, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. But that's who I want to see. Like,
I think
want to
Snoop
see
Dogg
that
is a libertarian,
I
by the
like to see
way.
that as I like to see that as a libertarian. I mean, I want him to understand the nap and everything, but like I really want him to be like, you know, just Wu-Tang, you know. Like I want to be like, you know, Hayek, you know, like something like that. Like I think that's how we need to diversify as a party. Like we need that. That's what I want. But I'm just saying.
We need gangster rappers.
Yeah, they ought to be libertarians. I mean, honestly.
Well, some of them are.
Gangster rappers should almost universally be libertarians. None of them should be Democrats or Republicans.
Oh, absolutely.
They
I
all
agree.
should be Thug Life and the LP life. You know what I'm saying? Like libertarian life.
LP till I die.
Well,
yo.
I like that even like guys like Big Boy was like, you know, I voted for Gary Johnson. I don't know why y'all messing around.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, even Ice-T's like, you know, I get guns to protect me from the government. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
exactly, man. That's what we're talking about, man. Come on over.
Exactly. You hear what they say, and you're like, how are you not a member of the LP? I mean, like, you should be carrying the banner.
Yeah, you know, I never understood why people that want to have that anti-establishment look to them go to the Democrats,
Yeah.
like the celebrities. I'm saying,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
why would you do? Like, you're so stupid. You're literally on your knees to the establishment.
They're actually a longer established party than the Republicans.
yeah.
That was funny.
Like if you're gonna go with someone new, man, you need to go with the LP, man. That's what it is, man. That's what.
Well,
it
I
is.
think yeah, more celebrities like even Rob Lowe, who you know was always very vocal, is now like I've been listening to these libertarians, and I think I might be leaning that way.
Yeah, no. I like that.
Don't be like the old Rob Lowe. Be like the libertarian Rob Lowe.
Exactly.
I wish he would make those commercials for us.
But you can be like St. Elmo's Fire Rob Lowe because he was cool.
You know, St. Elmo's Fire. Rob Lowe was actually a pretty cool Rob.
I
Lowe.
love how they play the theme song to St. Elmo's Fire during those commercials, by the way.
That's it. That's it. Damn it! I kept wondering why they were doing that.
You were trying to place that song, weren't you?
Exactly, and I didn't even put it all together. I
put it
feel
together
an
the first
idiot.
time I
Boy,
saw
I feel
it.
like an idiot right now. You know, I don't think I watched St. Elmo's Fire enough, I guess, but I mean, I just, damn it.
That's your problem.
Damn
I
it.
love that movie.
That really pisses me off. All right, we're just ending the show today.
Okay, he's
That's it.
done.
That's
He's-
it. I'm done with this. All right, let's get to the helicopter, man. What's going on? What are you doing?
So, a man from Ruskin, he's actually a U.S. postal worker.
I love Floridians, by the way.
I know, right? A U.S.
I'm not
postal
saying you to be
worker.
sarcastic, by the way. I love Floridians. Go ahead.
A U.S. postal worker from Florida decided that he was going to. He's protesting. He's like, I'm done with this. I'm done with you people. And he's angry about just taxes and just in general government. And so
Government.
he decides to fly a small personal aircraft. It's actually a gyrocopter, although some news stories were calling it a helicopter at first. So I had some old ones. Actually flew from Maryland. Oh, he flew an hour from Maryland. I'm so confused on if he actually... nothing is actually said that he actually boarded it here in Ruskin and flew it all the way to D.C.
Yeah, looking at the helicopter, I don't think he flew it from Florida to D.C.
And I'm trying to
Oh,
find...
I thought he did.
Well,
It's possible.
It is possible. I don't... And here's the thing. Like, the Tampa Bay Times knew about this, knew he was going. Like, they interviewed him before he left.
It's a smart move on their part. He dies.
Right? We got the exclusive.
We got to get this story before someone
I
kills him
wonder
over
what
there.
the over-under in their office was on whether this guy was going to die and they're going to be happy about it or not.
So he actually landed it on the Capitol grounds. The Capitol building has a big lawn and stuff, and he flew it and landed on the lawn. And as soon as he did, I guess they shut down. Like, the building was on lockdown, and they were all sorts of like, oh my God, what do we do? Like, Not only did the Tampa Bay Times know, the Tampa Bay Times called Capitol Security to tell them. And then when he landed, they're like, "Oh my God, what do we do?" you had several hours to think of it.
They must have told the same department that they told about, the 9/11 attacks or the underwear bomber or the shoe bomber or those guys up in Boston. They must have called that one department called the Lost Sock Department. Because you can never find that friggin' lost sock. No. They must be calling that department. Inept, but who will ignore the threats?
Well, I mean, we're still living in a world where there is only one job that is a synonym for storming through the building with an automatic weapon and killing people, and that's called going postal. It's a government job that is a synonym for storming through the building with an automatic weapon and killing people. And another postal worker went postal.
Also
with a helicopter this time.
Also an advertiser to the program, so go to Tampa Road. To the Tampa Road location, that's the best place to go to for going postal. Thank you.
Yeah. But so, he lands this small aircraft, and they're like, well, he flew through restricted airspace, and, now his friend here in Ruskin did an interview, and the quote, and I love the quote, what he said, "Thank you to everyone in Washington, D.C. that decided not to kill him."
and that's true, because, we were talking about that. They could have very easily just shot him down or shot him and filled him full of lead as soon as he hit the ground, and nobody would have cared.
Do you imagine, like, a big B-52 coming up on this little gyro?
Being escorted by F-16s.
Jesus.
You're going to land now, sir.
Hey, good on the guy, though. Good on the guy. That's awesome. I'm glad you did it for whatever reason. Anytime we can have a little chaos like this, I think is a good thing. So good for him. I'm glad you're feeling good there, guy.
I'm not happy with it because now they're just going to take more tax dollars and build a dome over the whole Capitol grounds or something. We got to watch out for the crazy guys with the helicopters. Wait a minute, you guys are the crazy guys with the helicopters.
That guy had a gyrocopter, and all he did was land and say, "I don't like Citizens United."
I swear, that thing, was it pedal powered? I don't know. I mean, it did not look like an imminent threat.
It looked like something that was on the Flintstones one time. Right?
It did.
I like it. I'm glad. Hey, look, man, good on this guy though. You want to, make your gyrocopter and fly to DC, man? Go handle your business. Handle your business. I wish he would have landed on Melissa Perez Harry, but
I don't think it would have hurt her. Did you see this is like some metal bars and a copter. Like, he could have landed this right on top of her, and she would have been like, "Ow, that kind of hurt."
Seriously, he would have lost in a dogfight with one of Amazon's delivery drones.
All right.
I've seen the pictures, and I don't. You know what? I don't see how this could have been considered a threat. You're lucky we didn't put aircraft in the air to shoot you down. Like, seriously.
Like, when I first saw the video of it, because it happened the other day, and my dad and my son and I, we went to Wendy's for lunch, and they had a TV on, and we're sitting there eating, and I'm looking, and I seriously thought it was one of those little remote-controlled helicopters.
I thought it was too.
I thought it was a remote-control helicopter. I'm like, what is the big fuss about this? So now some dude, like, his remote-control helicopter gets out of control and lands on the Capitol lawn, and everybody's freaking out. And then, like, somebody walks by, and you get the actual perspective on it, and I'm like, oh, that's a little bigger than a remote. Okay.
I actually thought, the ones that you get, like, in the mall, where the guy in the mall is, like, flying, and then you get it home, and it doesn't fly. It just hits the wall and cracks the brakes. Yeah. Like, I thought that's what this was.
Yeah. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
That's crazy. That's completely insane, I love gyrocopters. I love them. They're the greatest things ever on the face of the planet, of a gyrocopter. I have 5 of them. That's okay. She'll be back. You don't like that?
No, I absolutely hate that voice when you do it.
Damn
there is no words that can come out of your mouth in that voice that I'm going to be like, oh, that one was entertaining. No, it's never entertaining.
That was Tony McGramio.
Juno, we got a bomb a run. You got to bomb them. Two bunker busters. You call me in the morning.
No, this is just bad.
All right, let's get back to the room because you know how much fun that is. Dude, you know they did a poll now, and Mason Dixon did a poll. Well, first off, let me just say this. Caputo likes Rubio and doesn't like Rand Paul or any of the rest of them. Let me just say that right now. Because the way Caputo wrote this article was all about the Rube. So now they just did a poll, and Rubio and Bush are tied in Florida. Now, they only interviewed 400 registered Republicans, so like, it's not that big of a sample. But they basically both of them are at 30%, and then the other candidates are either in the single digits, and 17% were undecided. So all the other candidates were in the single digits. 17% of them of voters were undecided, which is really weird, by the way, if you think about it.
Wow.
Well, no, not necessarily. And I will tell you, it looks like the Republicans in Florida are just completely moronic.
We knew that.
60% of you Republicans will either go for Bush or for Rubio. Well, there's 60% of the base we don't need to go after.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They are not libertarians.
Yeah, they're not libertarians at all. Maybe we'll get... Look, I would argue that out of the people that like Bush, we got a better shot of getting over actual libertarians than anybody that likes Rubio.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you put up anything on my feed, there's one person that has an exception. But other than that, if you're a person that puts anything up on a feed that is positive about Rubio, there is no conversating. There's no talking about it. It's block city. Like, it's right off the bat. I don't even want you knowing I exist on Facebook.
I actually am at this point, because of like,
America.
you know, all of the different announcements that we've had and the people supporting all of the different people, that I have been, you know, like, okay, let them have their day, but I've been passively, aggressively just deleting them from my friends list. And I'm down like 250 people in like the last 2 weeks.
So she's got room for friend requests, everybody. So go ahead and send them.
Yeah, Cuban Magramio can lick my hairy sack.
That was unnecessary.
I don't care. I wouldn't even want him to do that. I wouldn't let him do it.
Most of it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
The
You
voice is definitely
You
unnecessary.
might try to take it over and make it a sovereign, make it its own territory in the United States. So, gotta hate Rube. Now, I will say this about the Rube. Let me just say this about Rubio. Dude is a slick ass politician.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
there's no getting around that. That dude
Yeah.
has talent and skill all day long at being a politician, and is somewhat of like a dorky kind of nice guy, like in a weird way, like in certain situations. Like, I don't know if you guys watched these there was two TMZ videos. They did one where Rubio came to the airport, and they did one where Hillary Clinton came to the airport.
I thought she was on like a road trip in her little Astro van.
Well, she is, but this isn't. I mean, I don't know when it was done, but at one point she was flying an airplane into L.A. This happened.
She's flying in and then getting in the Astro van.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well that's what she did for the next place, but different story for a different day.
Probably flew in on Spirit Air.
But on the TMZ one, the Rubio in that interview was actually really was super nice to the guy. Clinton, total bitch.
yeah.
Total bitch.
Well, she is.
She was. Which, no, you're absolutely right. Woman is. And if you're a woman, like, I don't even understand how you would be happy that this is going to be the woman representative in this race. Like, she really is a disgusting piece of trash.
I saw a video the other day of her like being asked a question. She was in I forget which country. It was an African country, and she was there as Secretary of State, you know, speaking. She's up on stage speaking, and she was asked a question, and there was like something lost in translation between the person asking the question and the translator, and he asked the question, what does Mr. Clinton think of the activities of China in Africa? But what the person was actually asking was, what do you think of Obama's, what is Obama's opinion of China? And she gets all uppity and she's like, I'm the Secretary of State, not my husband. I'm not going to speak for my husband. I'm Secretary of State. I just got all uppity and just rude and condescending. And I'm like, wow, that is our number one diplomat, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
You know what she ought to do? She ought to get a job as a color or as a sideline reporter for ESPN.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's about on that level.
Well, she asked.
But she doesn't look good enough for that job.
She was
That's
in.
true.
She was in.
Surely she ate the person that was good looking for that.
She was at one of the colleges and someone asked her a question and she basically responded like, "That's a dumb question."
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to answer that because that's a stupid question. And everyone was just like, wait, what?
I mean, take away Benghazi, take away all of the scandals that surround her. She is just a bitch.
She's just a
She
mean
is
person.
condescending and mean, and there is no way I can support her. I wouldn't support her for dog catcher. I would send the dog catcher after her, actually.
Yeah.
And the fashion police in these frickin' pantsuits now.
Yeah. I really don't like her at all. And you know, I don't remember who it was. Somebody was like, if they elect Hillary Clinton, no, you can just kiss this country goodbye. Now, let me just say this, though. Look, I think that Hillary Clinton will do damage to this country, no doubt. But so will Jeb Bush, and so will Marco Rubio, and so will Ted Cruz. To varying degrees for all of them. But I got to tell you that the Rube damage and the Clinton damage, about on par.
I would think they're roughly the same.
About the same there. Same with the Jeb damage. Again, these Hillary Clinton. Here's what we're gonna do, just to make sure we're insulting her correctly. Bill Clinton's wife and Jeb Bush both love Common Core
Yes.
for probably the same reasons. So, just all you need to know.
Well, I don't know if Hillary has a brother that's profiting off of Common Core or not.
Oh, I'm sure she does. She has some family member profiting off Common Core.
Should we just call them Billary Clinton? Because she was pretty much vice president while he was president.
Hold on, since we're doing nicknames right now, though. So we got McGramio for talking about the three.
So you can have Billary.
Billary Clinton.
Billary was in used, though. It's kind of played out.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll think about this. All right, we'll think about this. Let's just sit here. We'll think about this. We'll get there with something. What's next for this thing? That's all we had for the hour, right?
Yeah, but we only have like 3 minutes left.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we do, don't we?
So how about some witty banter?
Let's do a little witty banter, though.
Which we should be doing at the beginning, that you just rush us into.
I did a little bit of witty banter in the beginning.
No, play the tape back. It was
Oh,
very
Greg, testify.
No, you do introduction.
Greg.
You do introductions and then you go right into something.
Don't tell me what to do. I'm just, no.
The first hour was interspersed with witty banter.
Hold on. Rubio's got a book, 16 for 16. It's an ebook for $3.99 on Amazon.
It should be 16. It should be $16.16.
Oh, my God. I swear.
What
to
does it
God.
say? Essential reports that tells the story of what?
16 essential reports that tell the story of the 2016 presidential candidate. 16
So
for
it's-
16.
it's a book-
It actually was written by the Times, I think.
I think it's a book about him.
From the staff of the Tampa Bay Times. Yeah.
Oh, that's just ridiculous.
Rubio.
Well, you know who they're in the bag for then.
Which is basically Rubio's staff.
Well, they're in the bag for money. They actually, they don't get a whole lot of money from neocons anymore, so they want to try to get it.
They're courting the neocons again.
Oh, they just put out a little book about Rube. Oh, that's
Oh,
funny.
isn't that sweet?
And that just keeps the thing you ever did see now. How's that?
Well,
voice? Is that
that's
it?
why Mark Caputo is all like, I love Rubio.
Yeah, that sucks. You people suck.
Because the Miami Herald is the sister paper to the Tampa Bay Times.
The sister paper.
Yeah.
The sister from another mister. Oh, yeah.
Is she the better looking sister?
Oh, they do. I think the Miami Herald's better looking than the Tampa Bay Times. I mean, I feel bad about that. I really would like to like the Tampa Bay Times more. However, the Tampa Bay Times has one glaring problem. Or 2 words.
Adam Smith.
Adam Smith.
Adam Smith. Well, they've got more than just him, but
Disgusting, evil bastard Adam Smith. God, there's people in the media I hate. There's not one more that I hate. But I hate more than Adam Smith, I don't think. I'd rather hang out with Sean Hannity and Bill O'Reilly than... I'd rather hang out with Melissa Perry Harris. Harris Perry.
Melissa Harris Perry.
Whatever that woman's name is. That commie on... Well, you can't say that commie on MSNBC because then you really have to be like,
Which one?
Which one? The one next to the yard. They all are. God, I hate those people. People offend me. Why do they need to offend me? Why can't they just act right?
Do you think that they are actually on a mission? Like they wake up in the morning going, how can we offend Alex?
I absolutely think that's what they're doing. That's totally what they're doing, by the way. They are like, let's figure out this out, guys. All right. You know Alex doesn't like this and this and this and this. So which one do we want to do today? And they have like a big board.
Like they
I'm going
cross
to vote
them
for
off?
this one today. I'm going to vote for this one today. Like,
Is it like a scavenger hunt? Like once they get through the list, like the first one to turn in the list gets a prize?
More like a bingo than a scavenger hunt.
The first one to like make you mad all week long becomes the next host of Meet the Press.
Good point. All right. Let's take a break now. Let's take a break. By the way, telephone number if you want to call further. 1-800-525-4032. Refresh Telecom, 1-800-525-4032. You're listening to Liberty Underground.
Hi, this is Gary Johnson, and you're listening to the 1787 Radio Network.
Join with libertarians from across the Sunshine State as we gather for the 2015 Libertarian Party of Florida State Convention, scheduled for June 5th through the 7th. The LPF State Convention will take place at the Quality Inn & Suites Conference Center in historic Newport Richey, Florida. Gary Johnson is the keynote speaker for the convention. Other speakers in attendance include Ben Swan, Adam Kokesh, Tony Stiles, and more. For more information, visit the website at lpf2015.com. Once again, the website address is lpf2015.com.
Facts about the red light cameras. Fact, you are guilty until proven innocent. The Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution grants you the presumption of innocence. Fact, red light cameras cause accidents. Accidents are up on an average of 40% at intersection with camera. Fact, cameras punish technical foul violations. Over 80% of tickets are written when the red light is on, under 1/2 second. Join the fight at www.banthecams.org. www.banthecams.org.
Liberty starts with a like. Facebook.com/Liberty Underground.
If you received a ticket in Florida, contact Oropesa Law Offices, 800-774-9883 or tacklemyticket.com. Attorney Oropesa understands the stress associated with being charged with a traffic ticket. In many non-criminal ticket cases, there may be no court appearance, no points, and no traffic school. Attorney Oropesa handles criminal violations, DUI, and license suspension matters. Don't face these serious legal matters alone. Initial consultation is free. Call now and you will be advised about any potential defense, constitutional rights violations, the possibility of having your driving privileges restored, or preventing a suspension from going into effect. If you've been classified as a habitual traffic offender, have a driver's license suspension matter, or a pending DUI case, call Oropesa Law Offices now so you can be advised about your particular case. Call 1-800-774-9883 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or visit tacklemyticket.com. Main office in Pinellas County and serving all of the Tampa Bay area. Find out more at tacklemyticket.com. Mention Liberty Underground and get 25% off.
You know Going Postal offers shipping with UPS, FedEx, and DHL International, and they're a full-service post office. And Going Postal is not just your one-stop shop for shipping. They offer copying, laminating, faxing, packaging, and they even have a notary public service. Visit our friends at Going Postal at the following convenient locations: Palm Harbor at the corner of Tampa Road and County Road 1 in the Sweet Bay Plaza, St. Pete on 66th Street just south of Tyrone Boulevard near Publix, and be sure to visit their newest location at 35595 US 19 North at Alderman Road next to Publix in Palm Harbor.
When the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them. Auto Owners Insurance has been recognized as highest in customer satisfaction with the auto insurance claims experience 5 years in a row by J.D. Power and Associates. For award information, go to jdpower.com. Call Row Insurance in Newport Richey today at 727-376-0030.
With the rifle in his
All right, we're back. Liberty Underground, 1787network.com, 1787network.com. You know, while she's gone, she doesn't like the voice. You know, I should continue to do the voice while she's not here, you know. That way she doesn't know I'm doing it. Let me get in this chair the right way, though. Kind of hurry back.
Yeah. Oh, no, the music's playing.
Hour number 1 is in the bag. Hour number 2 is here right now. You are listening to hour number 2. Thank you very much, Danielle. I appreciate that. You are a gentleman or a gentle lady and a scholar. Oh, let me drink my
and a Wikipedia.
Let me drink my drink real quick.
Because that's always good radio.
That's always good radio. That's a good drink too. Very good, by the way.
Everybody just is like, oh man, I can't wait to hear Alex drink his drink.
I think they like the voice though. I have gotten people that like the voice though, but I think that they like the voice only to annoy you though. But
I think that's exactly what
it drives Danielle nuts. Keep doing it.
Keep going.
You should do it again. That's what you should do. You should do it again.
I actually think they like to see you in trouble.
That could be it too.
Actually, that probably has a lot to do with it. Actually, oh well, that's okay though. One thing, and we'll get Brandon here on the line here in a minute or two. But one thing that you did put on the board that I do think is very peculiar was the Walmart deal. Did you hear about this, Greg?
I'm going to get Brandon on the line.
Oh, okay. So you're just not going to answer any questions. Okay.
He's like, I'm out.
Well, tell us a little about the Walmart deal, Danielle. Can you tell us anything about it?
Okay. I have this for after, but...
Oh, not for Brandon?
No.
Oh, I actually was going to ask Brandon his opinion on this, though.
Oh, no. I had it so that when Brandon gets off the line, we have something to talk about.
Okay, well, we'll wait then. We'll wait to get Brandon on the line then. I wonder what Brandon's going to want to talk about. I wonder what he's going to want to talk about this week.
I don't know.
We should see. His name is Brandon Jones, though. He's from the Global Dispatch. Greg, right now, as we are speaking, is getting him on the phone.
He's on the line. Brandon.
He's on the line. Brandon, are you there, sir?
I am. How's everyone?
Doing very, very well, sir. Hey, did you get your Rubio bumper sticker yet?
Rubio? No, I thought it was McGramio. I haven't from the publisher yet. T-shirts may be printed. I'm not sure where we stand on that.
Should we trademark McGramio? I think we ought to.
Yeah.
I think we should. Actually, I wouldn't mind getting a bumper sticker that said McGramio on it. You know? The Neocon Trio. Have a picture of the three of them there and have McGramio like it matters.
Like it matters.
That's awesome.
I think we need to continue to create the whole name. So you need to add in a first name. So it's Jebin for Jeb and Ben Carson. Jebin Rand McGramio. So now we have Rand. We had to figure out how to put Cruz's name in there. So you just keep building it up so you have this one long name of do you support, and then you have this long amalgam of all of their names.
Put all of the Republican candidates
Just all of
one
them in
name.
there, and then just be like it matters.
You know what? We might want to do that, actually. That's a good idea, Brandon. Hold on. Let me write that down. Hold on. Let me get that right there. Let me get just that down.
That might actually be a good LP bumper sticker. Just add all their names, but like it matters.
Yeah, like it matters. Honestly, we'd pay so much money because it would cover the entire back of somebody's bumper. Honestly, I think people would probably use it when they have a fallen bumper just to try to tape it back up.
Like tape.
Exactly. So, Brandon,
It's a libertarian political rap.
Yes. Like Nas. Brandon, let me ask you a question. There's a lot going on out there. So instead of trying to pigeonhole you into one area because you're so widely versed, where are you at with stuff going on out there right now? Other than disgusting.
Oh, wow. That's not even really fair because, you're catching me where I'm coming down at the end of my week where I'm kind of unplugging. I've enjoyed the fact that I've kind of, as of yesterday, it's kind of like that's the end of my hard news stuff for the week. I'm done dealing with all this serious drama and political candidates and gyrocopters and CIA officials telling me the war will never end and Jon Stewart with his laughable segments on Daily Show. And you guys talked about a bunch of this stuff already, so I don't want to rehash it all. I'm interviewing Merle from Walking Dead. I'm watching Star Wars teasers. So, I'm not the best example and role model for a political show right now.
Well, hold on a second, though. You did say one thing that we did not bring up, but I have seen the article about it. The CIA guy saying that the war will never end, by the way. Did you look into this?
Isn't John Brennan like the embodiment of everyone's really angry, crotchety uncle?
Yeah, he is actually, isn't he? Though
He's like, well, that's just Uncle John. Don't say it in front of him. Oh, you got him going again. So that's pretty much how this kind of played out. He kind of spoke candidly at Harvard University. He started talking about the war, and basically just admitted what we really have been saying. The truth is that there's really no end to this. There's no win. There's no good guys to bank on here. There's no acknowledgement really of an end date or an end game of how you get the Muslim people to stop wanting to blow each other up and us along the way, and pointing guns at them is really not going to make that any better. It's just going to keep changing sides. Basically we're watching like a 15-year risk game being played out with humans.
Yeah, we absolutely are. Except for these guys are switching teams and countries. It's like sometimes the U.S. is using red ones and sometimes they're using the blue ones. Sometimes they're getting...
That's how risk plays, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, exactly how they do it. Oh, it's pathetic, actually.
Well, I just think, because it was like the war on terror may never end. Well, when you start a war based on a feeling, that is what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's not even a noun.
It's a tactic. It's a verb.
Right.
Yeah, it's what they do. The terror. Kind of like Naco in Pasco County. I'm just ready to go.
I think there should just be a bunch more adverbs tacked on to war on. War on the slowly. Things like that. Just create them and just throw them out there. It'll stick.
I wish we had a war on Magramio right now. That would be nice. Instead of Magramio having a war on us. I mean, that would be a lot easier to be able to do. Look, and you saw the Hillary Clinton one. You saw Hillary Clinton's announcement and stuff like that. What was your thoughts there? Did you expect anything different than what you got?
Well, first let me say, for those of you that don't know me or don't know how the sites run, we do give everyone equal time. So you will find on there a little brief article that talks about her announcement and the video. You'll also find a transcript. Hers isn't really a transcript as much as it is just kind of a general overview of that. We've done that for each and every candidate, that no one's getting preferential treatment that I can, try my best not to. And you know what? I'm going to actually take a different take on this. I think she did a great job, and she knows exactly what she's doing, because her supporters are a bunch of sheep that have about 3 minutes to devote to politics. So that's exactly what they want. They want a little 3-minute digestible video they can all share on their Twitter and Facebook, feel like they're plugged into the person that they want to see be president. They're putting all of their eggs in the one basket. They could care less. They basically have just continued to beat on Elizabeth Warren to say, please don't run. So she's kind of off the table, at least for now. So, it looks absurd, and it is absurd to put together, a 2.5 boring video where you're in about 18 seconds of basically just throwing out a bunch of crazy talking points. But that's what these people want. That's who they are. And if we at least acknowledge it, you can at least understand where they're coming from. Rubio shtick this week. I mean, it's just, talk about just like bringing like the JV player to the varsity squad. He really doesn't even look the part. I mean, I know a lot of people said that about President Obama when, he's 43, and I guess Rubio's around the same age, but there's something that just seems so juvenile about watching Marco Rubio. It's like, I'm going to run for president. She's old and I'm young, and that was basically the gist of his angle. And it was there was hardly any meat in his speech compared to the Rand Paul speech, the Ted Cruz speech. That was probably the biggest takeaway so far.
Yeah, no, that's true. Now, I will say this. On the globaldispatch.com's website, you do have what is tantamount to the scariest picture of Dick Cheney that I think I've ever seen. I'm going to have nightmares tonight based off of this picture alone that you have on the globaldispatch.com. I
have to give Don Quixote credit. Don Quixote has these great caricatures, and we're great to partner and be able to publish a lot of them and use them regularly, and they are amazing. If you haven't seen the Nancy Pelosi one, that one, Scare Your Children. That one's pretty good, too. So
I remember that one.
Keep an eye out for that one.
I'm thinking of crying right now because of the Dick Cheney one. Like, I think that this is what he actually does look like. I think this is a picture that was taken. I don't think he drew this. I think he took this picture.
This is a photograph.
This is a photograph. And I will tell you this, and because you put it up there, I don't know how much of it you actually got to watch, but the Stewart takedown was epic.
Well, anytime you can replace a vice president with a balloon, I think is really kind of an upgrade. So I'm really down with that. And, I would support, I'm not a big fan of the Jon Stewart Daily Show. I think they kind of take away from the seriousness of politics, but they make it entertaining. And, sadly, it takes someone like Dick Cheney and his absurdity to be brought to the attention of the Daily Show to point out, hey, by the way, we were actually supporting Shiites when we went into Iraq. We wonder why the Iranians are now a problem. And, we've had Muslim leadership tell us, well, you guys are to blame for all this. You're the idiots that put Shiites in charge.
Yeah.
So I mean, it wasn't like we went in there and actually created anyone who wants a democracy. It's a three-legged stool. We just picked a side, and next week it'll be someone else.
Well, let me say this though. Let me push back a little bit on you, Brandon, on this one.
Push away.
I think that what the Daily Show and Jon Stewart, there's a lesson that we can learn from this. I really think that, look, he brought up subjects last night on that thing that are not subjects that again, he said things that even I didn't even know, and I thought I was pretty well versed on this stuff, and he even went down some stuff on this one that even kind of made me go, really? Oh crap, I didn't even know that. So I think that his style, because everybody watch it. I mean, a lot of people watch it on the left and on the right. A lot of people will go I don't really agree with them on everything, and then goes into the things that they saw that they liked. Look, I think that we ought to try to be more like that. I think that we ought to try to do more of, have a comedy, almost like a little skit that he did on that, a little bit part, but have very serious stuff in that bit part that I think that can get through to the masses in a way that, a lot of people watch The Daily Show for that reason, but it's not like he's fluff piecing this. He didn't fluff piece that. That was a really good, hard-hitting article that I wish the media would actually do more of. And they're not gonna. But I mean, Stewart does it in a comedic way. But man, I like the style.
I guess I may not have clarified exactly where I was coming from, and it will definitely overlap with something I think we talked about last week. And Greg hit the nail on the head when he was talking about how much these mainstream news shows have added pop culture and all the fluff to appeal to the masses. And where I'm coming from is number one, it's on Comedy Central. Number two, Stewart has a very strong left-wing, anti-conservative, anti-Republican, and anti-libertarian at times bent. And that is taken as the source of news for many of these people. I had a very close friend who admitted to me that's where he gets his news from. That, to me, is the danger of this. You have taken a large populace of a generation who've grown up now with Daily Show, and that will give them enough of the political education that they think they need and get by on. I'm not saying it's not entertaining, and I'm not saying that there's not a great way to get some word out there and using humor and all that. But there's also a danger in that you've created a mass of nearly half the population that are feeling like they're in the know. They know what they're talking about because they watch Jon Stewart. And there's a lot of danger in that. And that has kind of been proven out many times whenever you bring up topics to them and they think they know they're talking about because they took, Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart as gospel, and that's not even the truth. So that was where I was coming from. I'm really not totally disagreeing with you, but that is a little bit where I'm coming from with my my angst toward The Daily Show.
Well, no. I think you raise a very good point there. By the way, I don't want to discount that. The only thing I would say that would counter that just a little bit is whenever he's had when he had Gary Johnson on or when he had Napolitano on, it seems that what he wants to do though, it seems like he actually wants to have an honest discussion of the issues with those guys, and not as much of make fun of those guys when he has them in studio. That he really tries to get to some of the core things there, but gives those, like Napolitano, I'm thinking of two, the Gary Johnson and the Napolitano one specifically. It seemed to me that he gave them an opportunity to make their case, and did
he's
so.
He's been fair to them. He's been very fair to them, I think, and he will, I think, very many times he'll be fair to them personally. Where I was talking about the anti-libertarian thing, I'm thinking more of ideology. He mocks capitalism way too much for my taste. There's definitely this party politics and separation of wealth, and a lot of the different things that it's very far left is sort of glorified and played out pretty regularly. And again, I'm talking about my disagreement with the show because he's programming the audience towards that angle, and that to me is where the danger of the show comes in. But look, it's entertainment to me, but it's not entertainment to everyone, and I think that's the difference.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, the door was left open for a comedy show to become actual journalism when the journalist became such a joke.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the journalist's fault that Jon Stewart and The Daily Show gets taken so seriously and becomes a news source for people because the journalists are horrible and they are the real joke.
and I haven't even gotten to this. I don't even know how I'm going to work it into my schedule. The best example of this is Rolling Stone magazine. If everyone doesn't know the story, they've kind of been outed of creating an absolute bogus story against a fraternity at the University of Virginia, a rape case. Completely invalidated, completely bogus, and all that. And the brand new issue just arrived, and they spend they devote 8 more pages basically like crying, "Don't kick us out of the club. We still want to pretend to be journalists too." And it's really just kind of sad that this is the nature of things in 2015. This is how journalists behave. This is how their little circles behave. This is it. It came up again. There was a movie recently called Kill the Messenger, which was a biopic done on a journalist that outed the Iran-Contras. And he was, of course, just crucified in the press, completely destroyed his life, ultimately commits suicide. The movie tries to bring some awareness to this because even when it was proved that he was completely true, it happened during the Monica Lewinsky scandal, so no one even paid attention to the fact that this guy was right all along with how we were in bed. The CIA were, running drugs just to fuel the war on drugs and all that. So it's sad that we've gotten to this place, and it's sad that, that there are people that rely on Jon Stewart to get news. But as you said, there could be some positive exploitation of that, and that may be a direction some folks should go.
Well, not just that, though. I think that also gave the rise to pages like the Global Dispatch, to this show. It's given the rise to all these other kinds of shows and programs that are out there, that the way people are going to be getting their news moving forward, that the old business model is not working. I mean, if you look at the number of people that actually watch MSNBC, like, it is so low, it is not even funny. I think it's they're like in the 400,000 range of the people that actually watch their program.
It's really small.
Like really, really small, which only goes to show you that, whoever's funding that is not funding that because they're making money on the back end of it with whatever product they're trying to push. That they're literally just trying to fund it to get that agenda out there as best as they possibly can. That, people aren't watching the news anymore. Like, people have tuned out for the most part. We need to figure out a way to tune them back into the stuff that we're talking about.
Yeah, MSNBC is being beaten by basically the reality shows that are on like Discovery Channel and Nat Geo pretty regularly. So that kind of tells you how bad it's fallen. And if we only had like a tenth of probably what NBC's money is, we would definitely be a name that people would recognize because we have the access to get people into. Well, we would have people at the Star Wars Celebration right now, but I don't have a resource there in California to do that for free, and I don't have the bankroll and the massive amounts of Soros money and things like that rolling in to fund journalists at these exorbitant salaries to pat themselves on the back at cocktail parties when they write one article a month. And I think that is where the culture has changed and shifted and given us a chance to have a voice and we can reach people differently. But I think that at some point, different shoes will have to drop for us to be able to move to the next level.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a process. It's not going to be an overnight thing. But you've mentioned it now a couple times, and I really am itching to talk about it anyway, is that the new Star Wars preview is out. And I think that because I've watched it, and not the whole movie, just the preview. But that was really, really, really good.
We have now blocked off the whole month of December for Star Wars.
Yeah, it really is going to be a really, really good movie. What do you think? What do you think about that preview, by the way, Brandon?
Brilliantly done. They didn't really have to do any storytelling. They don't have to drop any spoilers at this point. We're still not even totally 100% convinced that we know who certain characters are or what their roles are going to be. We haven't seen any visuals yet of Carrie Fisher's Princess Leia, really Mark Hamill. I mean, there's a whole lot of reveal still yet to come. There's a ton of actors that are actually in the film that we really haven't seen them as well. So there's a lot yet to come, and the fervor is just out of control. For those of you that don't know, the Star Wars Celebration started on Thursday at the 4-day event. This year it's in Anaheim. So, there may be even more stuff to drop. And Star Wars is not going to just be a one-time movie event because this is going to be more modeled after what they've done with the Marvel Universe. So we're going to have Star Wars films year after year after year. So we're actually going to get 3 films. I think it's in about 18 months. So it's Christmas, the following Christmas, and then the following May. So within that range of 18 months, you're going to have 3 Star Wars films that are all going to drop. So it is really going to be an interesting time for those fans.
Yeah.
And I think we're still getting a TV show as well. I know there's been
that's been talked about. I'm not sure it actually has materialized enough. We actually have writers and directors hired yet, but I wouldn't rule it out.
Yeah.
I guess they're going to depend on how popular this next one comes out will be.
Yeah.
Which I think
it's a financial. I think it's a financial thing because I think where a lot of these superhero shows and stuff like that have found a lot of successes, they're not really expensive. They're not super special effects laden. Star Wars becomes a little trickier with that because the special effects are so integral to the suspension of disbelief and the science fiction nature that, costuming and set designs are expensive, and more than that, it's the special effects. And I think that's probably where some of the struggle's been, some of the holdup.
Right. And in the talks about the show, it's kind of been more focused on like the bounty hunters and stuff from what I've heard, and less about the Jedis, which is where a lot of the special effects get really expensive.
Yeah. Now, and even Danielle wants to see the new Star Wars movie.
Yes. No, I'm a big Star Wars fan. I have seen
Like,
all
this is
of
one
them.
where you're all involved in.
No,
Get in.
Yeah, I'm all involved in this one. I'm looking forward to it coming out. So I've read a lot of the books that are the in-betweens and stuff. So I know, I tend to know a lot more of the story of them. And it is cool when they do it, because a lot of there are some of the things that clashed with some of the books, but some of them, if you didn't read the book, you didn't get what was going on. And that is kind of neat to have the in-between story, because you'd be like, oh, I totally get that. And everyone around you's like, I don't know why he just did that. So that's kind of cool. No, I'm a big Star Wars fan.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, I'm looking forward to this movie. I think it's going to be really, really good. I mean, I'm really looking forward to May 1st right now.
I'm very nervous.
What do you mean you're nervous?
I'm nervous because Jar Jar Abrams is at the helm, and I do not at all like what he did with Star Trek.
Jar Jar Abrams.
Yeah.
Well, Brandon, can you address this? Because I imagine there's people like Greg out there that would say that this guy can screw this whole thing up. Jar Jar Abrams, using the example. What do you think about that? Do you think Greg's got a point?
Well, I think there's something to be said with that, with the Star Trek, the handling of Star Trek, rewriting it just for the sake of rewriting it. But visually, I couldn't argue with what Abrams accomplished, and I was very excited to know that visually that's what he'll bring to the Star Wars universe. I think the fear is very much in contrast to what Danielle was just saying. I don't think Abrams has any allegiances to the novels and the storylines and things like that to exist or to build on those. He'll do whatever he wants to do. And he's very haphazard with sort of fanboy mythology, and that's where Star Wars folks are really, really very protective. And if this seems to deviate too much from that or has something that's very contradictory to that, they'll turn on it on a dime. Mm-hmm. And just to veto it or just to send a message to the studio, that's not how they want it done. So I think the difference is Disney has learned a lot from the Marvel process. They've learned a lot on how to balance that, to make the fans happy, to make the old school fans still appeal to people that have no idea about all those old movies and stuff. So I have less fear knowing that, and I can't believe that I would ever think that about the Disney universe, but hey, there's money to be made. This movie will make $1 billion. There's not a doubt in my mind. It'll make $1 billion, so this is not going to be handled lightly. And, we'll get another taste of this in a few weeks. I can segue right into Avengers with that. 2 weeks from today, this movie is going to make probably $250 million its opening weekend, and that's an incredible thing.
No, I think it's going to do well, and I think, but I think that if they veer too much off the story, subsequent movies won't do as well as this first one, because I think that there are going to be a lot of people that do know the stories, and the books are very, very popular. These are not your normal books that, nobody's reading. People are reading them. So I think the first one is going to do phenomenal no matter what. I think no matter what they did to it, it's going to do phenomenal.
Well, look, and I got to tell you, I hope they did learn something from the way they've been putting out these Avenger movies, because these movies have been, this whole Marvel series of movies has been, I think you bringing back a generation of people to be really excited about movies again. Like, I think the economy actually plays a little bit of role in this, because when the economy's down more, then people go to movies more, just to try to escape from the hell they're currently living in. But I think that Marvel and them have done such a phenomenal job of this that I hope that the Star Wars people can do the same thing, because like I said, this is one of those things where there's a couple generations of people that really like the Star Wars movies, and if they can bring in a new one with the next series of movies, I think it's going to be a darker movie than like the first three, though. I think you go from like the first one, the second one, the third one had a lighter feel to them. Even though the fourth, fifth, and sixth one were made before that, they have a darker feel to them. They got to keep going darker, I think, even with the other ones. I think they need to. And like I said, even with that preview, you see like, Death Stars that are not Death Stars, but like Imperial, whatever you call those things.
The TIE Fighters?
No.
Or the Star Destroyers?
Yeah, the ones that are broken down, and you got the you got the Millennium Falcon going through them, and you got the old mask of Darth Vader all broke up and everything. Which, how did he save that, by the way, from the other one? Like, did he bring that with him as a memento? Because remember, he took it off of him.
Well, actually, he was wearing it when he was burned in the funeral pyre.
Oh,
in Return of the Jedi.
he did bring it with him. So you got things like that going, and then when they first saw Han Solo with Chewie, was like, oh my god, So it's going to be good though. I think. What do you think, Brandon?
I mean, it couldn't be more excited. Obviously, my boys grew up when the new movies had come out, and my son will tell you, he's like, I love this movie for all the wrong reasons. Because it happened during that nexus time of his life where it was so powerful and meant so much to him, even though he can acknowledge there's tons of problems with it. Jar Jar Binks is, of course, what Greg was alluding to. I think the thing is here is, Greg, I'm more on board because Abrams is not as bad of a filmmaker as George Lucas is. George Lucas is really just a one-trick pony. He thinks he's funny, and he's not, which we really, really saw that manifest in the 3 new films. I think Abrams... The risk with Abrams is what Danielle's talking about. Will he twist and morph mythology to the point where fans will get upset about it? And I just, at this point, can't believe the studio will allow that to happen, where their test audience and stuff like that are just so good at discerning how things will react. But I'll say, they're in it for the merchandising, the TV shows. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is more than just, hey, listen, the movie didn't do well. This is a franchise for them. So even if there's a little bit of twisting and turning that we can get angry about, reality is it's the dollar that's going to drive it.
Yeah, and I am cautiously optimistic about it. And you're absolutely right, J.J. Abrams. I'm much happier with him doing it than George Lucas doing it. Right. And I am just leaps and bounds happier that it is J.J. Abrams and not Michael Bay. So. Oh my gosh! Oh yeah, can you imagine Michael Bay attached to anything that remotely is that? Well, he can't get a Transformers movie right, so what can I say? Yeah, I mean, after Transformers, I want him to have nothing to do with anything from my childhood.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't like Transformers?
They're so long-winded. They blow stuff up and they offer nothing, and they don't need to. There actually is enough substance there to make decently entertaining stories, but he doesn't know how to do anything other than blow things up. That's a great South Park sketch, by the way. Look that up. Well, that'll make you laugh yourself silly. Is where they interview Michael Bay, and it's the truth. And sadly, the Transformers franchise will continue to carry on, and they won't fire him and the writers. They continue to get jobs, and that's what the worst part of this is. This is what they want to make, these 3-hour blow things up and don't make a lot of sense movies, and it is kind of a niche that Michael Bay needs to stay in my opinion, not going to these other franchises.
Yeah, if you actually say all the Transformer movies, I'm like, okay, it should end right here, and then it keeps going.
Yeah, he just
25 minutes later, it's still going.
Yeah, he just makes a 2.5-hour assault on the senses is really what he does.
Oh, for real?
And he's a prostitute for product placement. Like no other other person in Hollywood has the product placement agreements that he gets. I mean, it's just ridiculous. The last one was just so irritating and distracting.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I like his movies. I like him as a director, actually. I'm sorry, I feel bad. I'll shut up now. Jesus, I feel like I'm.
Well, you can't shut up. Let's switch to what your area of expertise is. I did not have a great phone connection. There's a lot of reasons for that, which I don't need to go into. But I did get a chance to interview Merle from Walking Dead. So Michael Rooker and I had a conversation. You can go to the Global Dispatch and check that out. We talk about all of his different movies very quickly. It's a very short interview. Didn't have a lot of time, but we talk about Days of Thunder and what he thought of that. We talk about Guardians of the Galaxy returning for that. He's talked about coming back for the sequel for Mallrats 2. We talked about, Henry the Portrait of a Serial Killer, a very small film that he did that I thought was brilliant way back in the 80s. So it's a great interview, and hopefully you get a chance to check that out.
Well, yeah, let me ask you a question about this guy first, though, about Michael Rooker. Was he a nice guy?
Oh, yeah. He's an extremely nice guy. He's very personable. My daughter met him when they were over at MegaCon and just talked so much about, she also met Norman Reedus, who plays Daryl, the two brothers, and they were over at MegaCon and talked about they're just so good with fans. They really are very appreciative, and it really makes sense when you know Michael Rooker. He's been around since the 80s, and it's taken until he got those two roles, the Walking Dead role, which got him the Guardian of the Galaxy role, to really kind of break through into some real financial security, some real big name fandom, that kind of thing. So when you've gone through, 60 to 70 movies, or all these different TV one-offs and things like that, to finally have the big breakthrough moment, of course you're appreciative of all those fans and stuff like that. So really cool guy. He's real raw and edgy, just like his characters are. We talk about that briefly. And, I really like him. I've always liked him.
I actually thought he was good in Days of Thunder, by the way. One of my, I got to tell you, I really love Days of Thunder as a movie. I thought it was a great movie. Robin's Racing.
Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer is one of my favorite movies. That movie is incredible.
Well, do you know who his character, if I'm not mistaken, off of Days of Thunder, his character was basically Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah.
And I don't know if was that ever mentioned during the interview or anything like that about how his character was based off of Dale Earnhardt?
No, we really didn't get into that. I mean, it's pretty, obviously we, Cole Trickle, and we have they were very blatant with their NASCAR references in the film. We talk more about his legacy of it. Do you still have people this many years? Here you're doing Merle, and here you're doing Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy, but you go to Comic-Con, you still got people coming up to you with Mallrats photos, you still got people coming up to you with Days of Thunder photos, and that was kind of how we kind of went a little more nostalgic from that angle.
Oh, that's cool, though. I'm glad that people still come up to him with that. And look, and I'm glad that he's good with the fans, too. Like, I'm glad for his success then, because he has always been actually a really good actor.
Yeah.
Like, I liked him as an actor. I wish he was in more stuff. Like, I didn't know why he wasn't in more stuff or he never seemed to have got, lead roles necessarily. Like, he was always a supporting actor, except for in Henry, but he was always really a supporting actor more than a main actor, but was a phenomenal supporting actor, though.
Absolutely.
He really did well. And in Mallrats, I mean, come on now.
Oh, yeah. If I saw him at Comic-Con, I'd totally offer him a chocolate-covered pretzel.
Oh, I'm sure he gets it all the time. I imagine you would probably want to break your arm off with that chocolate.
He would probably flip you off and go burl on you. He would not be upset.
Which I wouldn't blame him, by the way. I would not hold any ill will towards the man for that. He should do that, as a matter of fact.
I would cherish the moment.
Oh, crap. That's a good time. And it's good that you got him to say that he was going to do Mallrats 2, and he got Guardians of the Galaxy. Man, it is cool. It has got to be cool, Brandon, for you to be able to get these interviews like you do.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel very blessed to be able to have that opportunity. I've been chasing after Mike for a long time. It was good to finally get a chance to talk to him, and we had to the worst part was here I am trying to talk to him, and the Florida monsoon and rainstorm last night breaks out, so the sound's not very good. It really kind of messed up our connection, but you know what? I'll take it. He's a cool guy to talk to. Hopefully, I grease the wheels enough to be able to talk to him again, and we can kind of have that relationship. And I feel very blessed to have that. I've talked to a lot of folks, and that I enjoy talking to. I really, some stuff you take because you got to, but some stuff you just do because you want to. And, Ed, I got to talk to Ed Asner. I got to talk to Skeet from Jericho. I got to talk to, this is probably about the fourth or fifth person from Walking Dead that I've had a chance to talk to. So, the dispatch has been good to me and giving me those kind of opportunities. And, I just look forward to doing more of it.
Well, last question, though. So far, and I know that you're going to have more interviews that come up, but so far, who's your most memorable interview?
Memorable is probably a trick word. I'll say Ed Asner has a moment because I didn't laugh at his joke and he called me out on it. Ed Asner was a very difficult interview. He's gruff and it's hard to know what his cadence is, so I didn't know that he was pausing. And I'm going on to the next question in my head, and he cracked a joke that I didn't laugh at, and he calls me out on it right in the middle of the interview. In that typical Ed voice, you didn't laugh at my joke. And I'm like, okay, I don't think I caught the joke, but now I'm called out on it, too, in the middle of talking to Lou Grant. That's awkward. That was pretty awesome. There's a lot of tension. People email me a lot over my interviews with Jesse Ventura because there's a lot of tension between us, but I'm really kind of constrained with the context of the interviews. Like, I don't really disagree with him a lot. We're not going to debate. We're just kind of trying to get information out of Jesse. But you can tell pretty much by the way my tone shifts a little bit, and I'm called out on emails all the time about, you don't like Jesse on this or that or whatever. So that's always been an interesting one that comes up a lot in conversation. I love talking to Skeet because Skeet and I actually talked about 20 minutes off record about Jericho and some of the stuff that he's been in, Scream and things like that before we actually did the interview. So the interview is probably not a very good interview because we had already talked about most of the stuff that I wanted to talk about because he just started talking. So yeah, I mean, those are probably the ones that are probably of the top of the list. Personally, I got to speak to, an ambassador to the Vatican. I got to speak, to, people that I respect and that I look up to. So that's always exciting as well.
Yeah, I can imagine so. I mean, it's got to be a good time. Well, all right. We're going to take a break here, but Brandon, again, thank you so much. We really do appreciate you calling in. I'm glad that we got to some serious stuff and then spent a little bit of time on some the other things that you do at the Global Dispatch, because I do think that there's, if you're looking to have a little bit of a unplug and let's talk about some movies and crap, the Global Dispatch is actually a place that you can do that as well, not just for hard-hitting news, which you'll get, but you'll also get other things as well, which is very well-rounded of Brandon to be able to do that. So the website is theglobaldispatch.com, theglobaldispatch.com. Brandon, thank you so much, brother. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for always having me, and talk hard.
Talk hard. Man, I always like Brandon. Always a good time. Always a good time. All right, you want to take a break here real quick?
Yes, we're going to take a break.
All right, let's take a break here real quick. When we get back, let's get into the mysteries of Walmart. You're listening to Liberty Underground.
Hi, this is Gary Johnson, and you're listening to the 1787 Radio Network.
Join with libertarians from across the Sunshine State as we gather for the 2015 Libertarian Party of Florida State Convention, scheduled for June 5th through the 7th. The LPF State Convention will take place at the Quality Inn and Suites Conference Center in historic Newport Richey, Florida. Gary Johnson is the keynote speaker for the convention. Other speakers in attendance include Ben Swan, Adam Kokesh, Tony Stiles, and more. For more information, visit the website at lpf2015.com. Once again, the website address is lpf2015.com.
Facts about the red light cameras. Fact, you are guilty until proven innocent. The Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution grants you the presumption of innocence. Fact, red light cameras cause accidents. Accidents are up on an average of 40% at intersection with cameras. Fact, cameras punish technical foul violations. Over 80% of tickets are written when the red light is on, under 1/2 second. Join the fight at www.banthecams.org. www.banthecams.org.
Liberty starts with a like. Facebook.com/Liberty Underground.
If you received a ticket in Florida, contact Oropesa Law Offices, 800-774-9883 or tacklemyticket.com. Attorney Oropesa understands the stress associated with being charged with a traffic ticket. In many non-criminal ticket cases, there may be no court appearance, no points, and no traffic school. Attorney Oropesa handles criminal violations, DUI, and license suspension matters. Don't face these serious legal matters alone. Initial consultation is free. Call now and you will be advised about any potential defense, constitutional rights violations, the possibility of having your driving privileges restored, or preventing a suspension from going into effect. If you've been classified as a habitual traffic offender, have a driver's license suspension matter, or a pending DUI case, call Oropesa Law Offices now so you can be advised about your particular case. Call 1-800-774-9883 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or visit tacklemyticket.com. Main office in Pinellas County and serving all of the Tampa Bay area. Find out more at tacklemyticket.com. Mention Liberty Underground and get 25% off.
You know Going Postal offers shipping with UPS, FedEx, and DHL International, and they're a full-service post office. And Going Postal is not just your one-stop shop for shipping. They offer copying, laminating, faxing, packaging, and they even have a notary public service. Visit our friends at Going Postal at the following convenient locations: Palm Harbor at the corner of Tampa Road and County Road 1 in the Sweet Bay Plaza, St. Pete on 66th Street just south of Tyrone Boulevard near Publix, and be sure to visit their newest location at 35595 US 19 North at Alderman Road next to Publix in Palm Harbor.
When the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them. Auto Owners Insurance has been recognized as highest in customer satisfaction with the auto insurance claims experience 5 years in a row by J.D. Power and Associates. For award information, go to jdpower.com. Call Row Insurance in New Newport Richey today at 727-376-0030.
Welcome back, Liberty Underground 1787 Radio Network. If you'd like to call the program, the number 1-800-525-4032. Refresh Telecom, 1-800-525-4032. Also available via Skype line, but we're not going to give you that number. Gotcha on that one. Not that anybody's going to call anyway. It doesn't matter.
You'll never catch me, Flatfoot.
You never catch me, copper. Yeah, see? Yeah. All right, so let's get into everybody's favorite big box store, the Walmart.
So this week on Monday, it actually happened on Monday. It was very odd that some Walmarts across the country all closed, all with zero notice. So employees were told just kind of hours before all of the stores closed that they were now going to be laid off. They do get 2 months of paid leave, and then if they don't find any full-time employee that doesn't find a job within another store, can get a 2-month severance package after that. But that all of these stores around the country closed for plumbing issues. None of them have actually pulled a permit to fix any issues. And it was all done on the exact same day, and they all closed at like 6 p.m.
You know, there's a lot of times where we're like, wow, that's just a big wild conspiracy theory. But I'm trying to figure out a rational explanation for this one.
Now, Walmart has come out, and they did make a statement. It was over at I read it in like CNN Money. Walmart did actually come out with a statement that said that they chose to close the stores with the biggest issues, and that the stores may or may not reopen because some of the issues are larger than what they had expected. But that this was something that they had been looking at. Many of their stores have had issues over the years, so they kind of chose some of the ones with the worst issues and decided to close those. And that when those reopen or they assimilate those people into other stores, that they might close more stores and to fix issues and then reopen them. That they just pick the worst of the worst, and that they may go in and do more later on.
Here's my problem, though. Like, I hear what you're saying there, but there's a lot of food that was in those stores that's going to be, you know, basically thrown away. It's going to be useless. So they're losing money there. The rest of the stuff they tried to sell at half off as much as possible, so that they lost money there. This isn't a company that makes it a practice to lose money. I don't understand why. Like, it seems like what they did would cost them more than doing it another way. And it didn't look. If they had a week, like if they would have said, "Okay, we're going to close these 5 stores down in a week. We're not really going to move the inventory, so we're going to 50% off. You know, all the stuff, and certain items are going to be 50% off." And they could have gotten rid of all that stuff.
Right.
They did it like look like an emergency, like something very drastic was happening at the store that no one knew about.
And it doesn't make sense to me that, I mean, Walmart has their own trucking fleet. Non-perishable items they could just distribute to other stores.
Other stores. You just, hey, don't order these things, guys, because we got it coming into you.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to like sell everything at a discount because you're closing this store. Just move it to another store.
Look, and their processes, I've actually watched a couple of the specials on like Walmart and how they do things. Their processes are pretty efficient. Like, they're not an inefficient company. They are looking to, save every dollar that they can. They're not inefficient. This seems like such an inefficient way to do this that it seems like there's got to be something else afoot there.
The hand of government is, the scent of government is on this one.
Yes,
I smell government here.
Hold on. Mixed with a little potpourri, but it's there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's, it was because Walmart tends to be a very efficient running store, especially on the back end when it comes to products and things like that, that these things have, a great inventory procedure where things get ordered almost automatically for you.
Yeah.
You know, that there isn't one person going, oh, we're running low on this. I mean, their inventory controls are, you know.
Bill, how many more of the X575s do you have in the back? Like, that doesn't happen at Walmart.
No, that doesn't happen.
Even though it'd be funny if it did.
It would. But nobody's walking around the store and doing an inventory list. I mean, they have a really efficient way of doing these things. You know, the one thing that I can say is that you're not employing Rhodes Scholars here. And so if you were to be telling people a week ahead of time, hey, we're going to be laying you off at the end of the week, you would see people not showing up to get the work done.
Yeah.
Okay, that is somewhat of a plausible thing there. So I'm not going to discount that necessarily. But they're not just letting them go. They're also, they're giving these people severance packages and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't. Something just doesn't seem right.
No,
though.
you're right. It absolutely doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right at all. Why 5 stores would close all in the same day with zero notice is definitely something that, now the one store that closed in Brandon, there's a brand new Walmart that is about to open a mile down the road. So, I mean, the thing is there's some plausible reasons why the stores closed without notice. I don't know if there's as many reasons on why they all had to close in one day and why we haven't seen large trucks moving the inventory to other stores.
Yeah. Like I said, there's just so many different things that are suspicious here. And to say that, look, they're like the one in Brandon, they're closing that Walmart for like 6 months. Like if there was a plumbing problem, they could have gotten it fixed in, look, in 6 months they can make a new one.
Well, yeah, Walmart. Well, and here's the thing. Maybe there's a problem that a Walmart can be built in 6 months, which is why they're having these large issues. Because at least the one in Brandon, customers do say, oh, God, I never would go into a bathroom there. They were always overflowing. There was issues. I don't know if that's true at the other ones, but at the Brandon store, customers were saying, you know what? I've been to that store, and they do have some large plumbing issues. Yeah.
All right. Well, look, and they bring this. What's that government the new thing that they're doing now?
Jade Helm.
Jade Helm, and they are trying to some people were trying to wrap this around with Jade Helm, and I can't necessarily disagree with them on this one.
Well, plumbing problems are definitely the scent of government.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I can't necessarily say that I see the exact correlation because I don't.
Oh, I didn't say exact. I just said that I can understand a correlation.
I can understand people putting these together. I don't see enough correlation where I would.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess. I mean, but it's not like you can't discount it all the way either, though.
There's enough of they wouldn't do this to say that I would say it is improbable.
Whoa. All right then. All right. Well, I mean, I can't necessarily say that, but all I know is that it just seemed kind of weird that they were doing that. I feel bad for the employees that were working there. That basically they said that day of like, yeah, we're going to fire y'all today. Because if there was a job, I bet you people were feeling pretty safe at, it was a Walmart.
Walmart actually has a very high turnover rate.
Yeah. Oh, does it really?
They have one of the highest turnover rates.
But because people quit, though.
But people just
not
don't
because
show
they
up.
got fired.
Yeah, no. I mean, listen, people get fired at these places because Walmart is a big enough store to where they're not worried about the unemployment costs. Like a lot of places that are smaller will not fire someone because then they have to pay the unemployment, and that in and of itself could bankrupt them. So they tend to not do that. So they have an employee that does horrible work, that doesn't show up on time, that doesn't come in when they're supposed to, and when they're there, just sits around and is lazy, and they don't get rid of them because they can't afford to. But Walmart and places like McDonald's and things like that, they don't have that. They can afford it. Like, okay, go for unemployment. I don't care. You're not doing your job. But these places do tend to have a very high turnover rate. They have very unskilled workers that they're paying, the proper wage for an unskilled worker. And, those aren't the people that are very dedicated to the company. But I do have to say, Walmart and McDonald's both have a very higher, promote within program to where if you are that dedicated worker, you will move up very quickly and become management and do very well for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, but you're right. But at the same time, though, you're feeling safe at that job, though.
Yeah, I mean.
Right? I mean,
if you weren't gonna, not show up or not do your job, then yeah, you felt like your company wasn't gonna go out of business.
But you're not concerned that tomorrow you're not going to have your job at Walmart.
Like they're not closing this store down,
Right.
Right.
and they are.
Like it's a secure company. The location's going to be there. People are shopping at Walmart. You think that?
I was a gym instructor, like an aerobics instructor, and went to work one day, and there was a sign on the door that was like, "We closed." All the equipment was gone. Like they sold it in the middle of the night, and that was just the worst feeling in the world. Like walking in there and being like, "Wait, what? I'm not supposed to work right now."
Where's my paycheck?
I don't know what's happening here.
They always do that on payday too.
Yeah. What the hell is that all about? But it happens, though. It happens to the best of us. All right, well, this hour is almost up. Is there anything else that you want to bring up before we get to the next one?
I don't even know what that means.
To the next hour, though, because I know the next hour we got some specific things that we're going to bring up, like police in Florida, things that are going on,
I don't
around
plan
the
for a
country.
new story for the last 4 minutes, so
You don't have just a 4-minute story sitting in the bag?
I don't think so.
There's so much to talk about in regards to police. We almost need 3 hours for that.
Oh my gosh, is there so much we need to talk about when it comes to the police. And different areas too, by the way. Like in the next hour in the police, look, I don't understand why the police aren't listening to this show. I really wish they would, because they would probably stop doing what they're doing if they would listen to this show. We're trying to help you out here, you bunch of authoritarian psychopaths.
Yeah.
Like, here's the one thing. If you get... You know what? I'm not gonna get into these things.
Did you see the Gwyneth Paltrow celebrity food stamp challenge?
I saw that.
Oh yeah, what a bunch of crap.
And I understand the whole let's bring light to the subject and all that, and but number one, I don't know of many people who are living on $29 a week when they have food stamps. But even after that, she must have shopped at like the most expensive store. And who buys 7 limes, by the way?
Well, like that. Yeah, that's stupid. I mean, unless you just really love the limes, but I mean,
drinking margaritas.
Yeah. Are you just planning on getting hammered this week, there, you little alky? Yeah, I'm so sick of these people that are like, I want to feel for the little person, so I'm going to go ahead and go out there and do that. Hey, you want to feel for the little person? Give all your damn money away. All right, go give all your money away and get real with it. Like, get down there and get in the business with it. I'm sick of these people trying to think that they're like with the downtrodden. Like, you're not with the downtrodden, Gwyneth. You're on. You're an actress.
She has like 5 houses.
Yeah, like give away some of your money. Like if you really, really want to do. And again, I'm all for you making as much money as you want to make, man. So I'm not trying to say you shouldn't make it, but don't come trying to talk down to the rest of us. Give away your money if you feel like if you're that concerned. Then how about you donate some money to charity? Same thing with Clinton, by the way. Like Clinton's like, I'm for the downtrodden. You didn't even tip. All right, you didn't even tip, you worthless bitch.
Now Rubio went to a Chipotle also, and they do have video of Rubio in the Chipotle. He gave them a thumbs up.
Nah, Rubio's I'm surprised he didn't bomb him.
Maybe that's what we should call Hillary, Mr. Pink from Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, good job. Greg, good job, Mr. Pink. I like how it's Mr. Pink too, by the way.
Yeah.
So Pink. Okay. All right, Hillary Clinton from now on, Mr. Pink. All right.
I don't get the reference, so.
Have you ever seen Reservoir Dogs?
No, I haven't.
Okay. The movie Reservoir Dogs, it's one of Tarantino's first movies, one of my favorite movies.
Oh, one of the best.
Steve Buscemi plays one of the characters in Reservoir Dogs, and they're all criminals. They're getting involved in a diamond heist, and they're all given code names. And Steve Buscemi's character is given the code name Mr. Pink. Well, at the beginning of the movie, they're sitting in this diner, and he goes on this like 5-minute rant against tipping.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he is like vehemently against tipping.
Yeah, and Harvey Keitel's ready to kick his ass.
Yeah.
Hold on, it's a phenomenal movie with phenomenal actors. It's a lot of those actors they're bringing back in The Hateful Eight, by the way.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Madsen's in The Hateful Eight. Roth is in The Hateful Eight. Samuel L. Jackson, which he wasn't in Reservoir Dogs, but he was in the Hateful Eight. There's some other guys that are in it too. Like that movie's going to be phenomenal. But Mr. Pink was the one that was arguing against Tippett.
I don't think I've seen a Tarantino movie that I liked. So I.
Oh my gosh!
Blasphemer!
You are a blasphemer, though.
Sorry.
I mean, even Pulp Fiction.
No, I mean I saw it, but I wasn't a fan.
What about Four Rooms?
I don't think you've seen Four Rooms yet. I don't think she's seen. We gotta get her to watch Four Rooms. Hold on. What about Inglourious Bastards?
No, I hate that movie.
Oh, what a great
and you
movie!
Play it all the time.
I love that movie.
Like
Sound good?
You don't even understand. Like, as soon as it comes on, I leave the couch and go over to the other table because and you play it all the time, and I can't.
Oh, that's
stand
one
it.
of those movies now. If it's on TV, I'm watching it.
Yes,
Like,
all the time.
Oh, I'll watch
like,
it 100 times.
Like 3 times a week, this stupid movie is on, and 3 times a week, I'm like, well, I guess I'm out of the living room now.
Any movie where they're going to use a knife to put on swastikas on Nazis' heads,
which is just
it's
stupid.
just a good movie.
No, that's just stupid.
That was such a good plot of that movie. You know what I'm saying?
There is no plot to that movie. It's just a dumb movie.
Sound good?
Wow, we found the divide in the room.
Oh,
Quentin
yeah.
Tarantino.
Damn.
Oh.
I mean, he's done some phenomenal movies. Look, even Django Unchained, which was,
which I also hated.
Which I thought was a little bit too, you really wanted to kill a bunch of white people in a movie kind of movie. Because even the good guy that was the white guy got killed in that movie. Not to give it away, but they killed all the white people in that movie. I don't think there was any white people left.
You didn't like the Kill Bill movies?
And the Kill Bill movies? That was a good movie.
Best vampire movie ever made, From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
George Clooney, incredible in that
Another
movie.
good. Oh, yeah, he was really good in that movie, too. Yeah. Oh, man, you're missing out.
No, I've seen most of those I've seen parts of most of those and turned it off because I didn't like it.
Sound good?
Wow. I think we need to take a break and
I guess
stuff her in a trunk or something.
I got 5 friends and they're all faster than you. Well, we should just do Tarantino quotes for the rest of the movie. Sound good?
The less a man makes declarative statements, the less apt he is to look foolish in retrospect. One of the best movie lines ever, straight out of his mouth.
All right. Let's take a break here. Take a break, damn it. Take a break. All right. You listen to Liberty Underground. Hour number 2's in the bag. Hour number 3's coming up. We got the police state in Florida. Why do they matter? You're listening to Liberty Underground.
Hi, this is Gary Johnson, and you're listening to the 1787 Radio Network.
Join with libertarians from across the Sunshine State as we gather for the 2015 Libertarian Party of Florida State Convention, scheduled for June 5th through the 7th. The LPF State Convention will take place at the Quality Inn and Suites Conference Center in historic Newport Richey, Florida. Gary Johnson is the keynote speaker for the convention. Other speakers in attendance include Ben Swan, Adam Kokesh, Tony Stiles, and more. For more information, visit the website at lpf2015.com. Once again, the website address is lpf2015.com.
Facts about the red light cameras. Fact, you are guilty until proven innocent. The Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution grants you the presumption of innocence. Fact, red light cameras cause accidents. Accidents are up on an average of 40% at intersection with cameras. Fact, cameras punish technical foul violations. Over 80% of tickets are written when the red light is on, under 1/2 second. Join the fight at www.banthecams.org. www.banthecams.org.
Liberty starts with a like. Facebook.com/Liberty Underground.
If you received a ticket in Florida, contact Oropesa Law Offices, 800-774-9883 or tacklemyticket.com. Attorney Oropesa understands the stress associated with being charged with a traffic ticket. In many non-criminal ticket cases, there may be no court appearance, no points, and no traffic school. Attorney Oropesa handles criminal violations, DUI, and license suspension matters. Don't face these serious legal matters alone. Initial consultation is free. Call now and you will be advised about any potential defense, constitutional rights violations, the possibility of having your driving privileges restored, or preventing a suspension from going into effect. If you've been classified as a habitual traffic offender, have a driver's license suspension matter, or a pending DUI case, call Oropesa Law Offices now so you can be advised about your particular case. Call 1-800-774-9883 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or visit tacklemyticket.com. Main office in Pinellas County and serving all of the Tampa Bay area. Find out more at tacklemyticket.com. Mention Liberty Underground and get 25% off.
You know Going Postal offers shipping with UPS, FedEx, and DHL International, and they're a full-service post office. And Going Postal is not just your one-stop shop for shipping. They offer copying, laminating, faxing, packaging, and they even have a notary public service. Visit our friends at Going Postal at the following convenient locations: Palm Harbor at the corner of Tampa Road and County Road 1 in the Sweet Bay Plaza, St. Pete on 66th Street just south of Tyrone Boulevard near Publix, and be sure to visit their newest location at 35595 US 19 North at Alderman Road next to Publix in Palm Harbor.
When the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them. Auto Owners Insurance has been recognized as highest in customer satisfaction with the auto insurance claims experience 5 years in a row by J.D. Power and Associates. For award information, go to jdpower.com. Call Row Insurance in Newport Richey today at 727-376-0030.
This is Liberty Underground with Alex Snicker, Danielle Alexandra, and Greg Bowen on the 1787 Radio Network.
Well, good morning, Tampa Bay, St. Petersburg, Clearwater. This is Alex, co-host, Liberty Underground Show, coming to you live from the Florida Police State this week. Along in studio with me is the Duchess of Doing Stuff, my own personal Wikipedia, Danielle Alexandre. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
You feeling good?
Yeah, I am.
I'm glad you're feeling good then. Also in studio, Prime Minister of the Sinister, Greg Evil Bowen. Greg, how are you doing, sir?
Peachy.
Peachy. I'm glad you're consistently peachy today, Greg. I'm very glad that you're consistently peachy today. Hopefully everybody is doing well. Hopefully nobody's having any issues or problems out there, even though I wouldn't necessarily flick off a cop right now
in Gainesville.
yeah, just in case you might get run over by a tank. So we'll get into that story along with some other stories here in the state of Florida. Danielle, where would you like to go first, Danielle?
Well, I mean, let's start with the story in Gainesville.
Gainesville, Florida.
This is someone that we know, actually. His name is Lucas Jewell, and he's actually a Navy veteran. He's going to school right now. He's over at the University of Florida, and he was driving. And as he was driving, he saw some police there, and he flipped off the police officers.
Wow. Okay, so
not a wise move.
Not necessarily the wisest move. Now, these police officers, were they in a squad car, or what were they in?
Well, I think the original police officers that he flicked off was actually just standing there. They were like outside of a vehicle. But then all of a sudden he gets pulled over by a armored vehicle.
Urban assault vehicle.
An urban assault vehicle is what you're saying here, huh?
Yeah, so I mean it's not a tank, and because I know people not a tank, and besides the tracks for wheels,
it's an urban assault vehicle.
Yeah.
It's not a tank, it's an urban assault vehicle.
This thing is an armored large vehicle. This is not your average, you get pulled over by what should be on the battlefield of war, and he got pulled over for flipping off a cop.
Which is going to get you pulled over every time, by the way. You flip off the cop, they're going to pull you over.
Yeah, and I get the whole, the Supreme Court has ruled, and he was absolutely right, because there's a video. He took a video. And what he tells the cop is that the Supreme Court has ruled that flipping off a cop is absolutely protected speech, and that I can do that whenever I want. And the cop's like, no, it's not. And listen, he was right. It is.
Oh, yeah.
The Supreme Court has ruled. I don't think it's the smartest move. I mean, I probably wouldn't do it, but I wouldn't do that to anyone. So, I mean, I guess it's just my...
It may protect you from charges in court. It's not going to protect you from being pulled over and harassed.
And harassed by a police officer.
By a tank.
Which is exactly what happened. And so he gets pulled over by this tank or armored, vehicle. And
or tank.
And they're, they kind of harass him a little, stand between the lights. And he's walking there, and they're like, grab him and pull him between the lights on the tank.
Yeah. Because the tank has lights along with, gun turrets and stuff.
So and this, it lasts for about 10 minutes. They, I think that the police were, listen, their pride was hurt. They harassed someone, not thinking, they try to tell him that he can't video. He's like, no, I absolutely can. So, I mean, they kind of have this back and forth. And what most people were saying after seeing this video, because the video went everywhere, and what most people were saying is, why are they pulling people over with a tank?
Yeah. I don't think that the tank is supposed to be for that. When they buy these monstrosity vehicles that they shouldn't even own to begin with, their whole thing is, well, we need to use this because of special SWAT circumstances. I didn't realize that flicking off a cop met that criteria, because I think if that's the case, we may need to adjust the criteria for why they own these things to begin with. Hold on, though, but there's something even better about this story, though. Where was the tank before pulling over a guy that flicked off a cop?
So, everyone's question was, why is the tank pulling people over? And so the sheriff came out and made a statement. The sheriff's office made a statement that said, that basically tried to say that they're investigating the officers because that there may have been some wrongdoing on the part of the officers, but they just wanted to ease everybody's mind on why the armored vehicle was on the streets. And it was because they were returning to the station from a SWAT detail at the University of Florida spring football game.
Okay. Hold on a second here. Now, the University of Florida spring football game, is this in the grand scheme of things, a very well-attended event?
I would think that it's, I was over at the University of Florida, but it's...
Do they even halfway fill the stadium?
No. It's
even
not...
Even a quarter?
No, not spring football.
Yeah. So they can totally, the campus security can basically handle the crowd at the spring football game.
Listen, when I was at the University of Florida, we did not have SWAT detail at even our largest football games. So historically, the campus police could cover any football game.
Yeah. And it ain't. Hold on a second. And here's the thing, though. When you were at the University of Florida, I think the years that you were there, though, that they were a Class 1A football team.
Oh, we were winning.
Yeah, they're not doing that right now.
No.
The team's in disarray. They haven't been good for a couple years in reality. Like, they haven't been, national champion contenders in a couple years. I mean, of course they're good, but they haven't been, national champion contenders. There's no need for a SWAT vehicle at the Gator spring game between, it's basically a scrimmage between the Gators and the Gators.
It's like JV. I mean, it's a JV
There's no
practice.
fight that will happen there. It's not like the defensive side of the people that support the University of Florida are fighting the offensive side of the people of the University of Florida, and a brawl will ensue. It's a spring football game against themselves.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, I was there during the Spurrier years, so but this is definitely not the same. Yeah, it's a scrimmage for the most part, and why they and the first thing I thought of, SWAT detail at the University of Florida spring football game. Have these turned into gladiator sports? I mean, are we releasing tigers on the field?
Like during the halftime, Russell Crowe came out and was like, are you entertained? Are you not entertained?
It's more like European football.
Yeah.
Football hooligans.
yeah, there's no Gator hooligans at the spring scrimmage.
Listen, you don't need an armored vehicle there unless you're actually releasing alligators on the field.
Yeah. Well, look, one of my biggest concerns with these vehicles is exactly this.
Right.
It's the fact that they're not going to use them for the intended purposes of them. Well, they're not going to use them for what they claim their intended purposes is, because their real intended purpose is intimidation and control. Right. That is their intended purpose, which makes more sense now as to why that vehicle pulled over a guy for flicking off the cops, because that guy wasn't intimidated enough. So we need to make sure that we do intimidate this guy enough. So let's go ahead and take this vehicle, pull this guy over, and try to scare the crap out of him.
And what they cited was, and what they say in the video, is improper hand signal.
Yeah.
It was proper.
And
considering you're driving around in a tank.
It's like, well, considering that you've just pulled me over, I think it may have actually been an appropriate hand signal.
You just proved why it's appropriate.
But no, I mean, an inappropriate hand signal is only supposed to be used if you use an actual hand signal in a place where it's supposed to, where you would need a hand signal, and you use the improper one. It is not supposed to be that anytime you put your arm out the window, that now it could be like, oh, improper hand signal. This is ridiculous.
Remember when we were kids, when we had to learn the hand signals for
your bike?
When you're on your bike? Yeah.
Don't use the wrong one. They'll pull you over with a tank.
Don't use your left turn signal and turn right. Because you could do that in a car all day long, but you do it with your arm, and it's an improper.
Well, look, it just goes to show you that they have all these, these stupid rules, and they have these rules there for one reason, is so that a cop can pull you over for any reason at any time and have some kind of a justification as to why they can do it.
Yep.
And that's what it is. They can harass you legally because they, basically have so many laws that they have out there that they can just bust you for whatever.
And that's like the story of the week with the cops, is don't mess with the cops' pride, because that's the biggest offense that you can commit.
Right, and that's the thing, is that, listen, while, at no point, because I watched the entire video, and they allege that he did a couple other things, and he's like, well, that's ridiculous, and they had no evidence of any of it. But when they're like, well, you used an improper hand signal, at no point did they say you endangered someone, you were driving recklessly, you crossed the line, so, you didn't stay in your lane. At no point did they allege that he did anything that would have been improper use of the vehicle. He was driving within his lane, within the proper speed, just doing exactly what a safe driver should be doing, and made a hand signal, and that was it. And someone was laying down in the car, because that was the other thing. And so, and now all of a sudden they're harassing this person, and that's a problem. And the fact that they are now harassing people with a tank is an even bigger problem.
A tank, by the way.
It's a military-industrial size problem.
They use this vehicle to protect our troops in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Which
folks.
they should use those.
Exactly. They should be using them there, not here. And I know you agree with me on this.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to yell at you, but I'm trying to get the point. They pulled him over in a tank.
Right.
I can't say that enough. You need to understand. A tank. And this ain't the... Look, this may be the first time you're hearing about it, but this ain't the first nor the last time that some crap like this is going to happen. It's just the first time it got video recorded.
Right.
And the cops wouldn't be doing anything right now had it not been video recorded.
Right.
And that's the real thing. Well, we're holding an investigation. You are now because somebody had the common sense to record this.
Yeah, I saw the video before it became, mainstream where everybody's talking about it, because Lucas Jewell came home that night and was like, you won't believe what just happened. I just got pulled over by a tank. Here's the video. And posted it on his social media. So I had seen it and I'm like, man, that's just crazy. Why was there a tank even there? And then, of course, it goes mainstream and the sheriff's like, oh, well, we're just coming back from a football game. Like, don't you have your tanks there?
Yeah, I mean, don't you drive your tank to the football game?
Drive my tank everywhere I can.
I would if I had one.
And I kind of looked at it like, is that supposed to make people feel better?
Yeah. We're just on our way back to base, and,
That's how far these guys have gone, by the way. Look, that's how far our law enforcement is off of their actual job. Because they think that, no, guys, we were just over at the football game with the tank. I mean, you guys didn't have anything to worry about. I mean, we were just trying to intimidate people at the Gator game. Like, they don't even understand. You know what it was like? I'll tell you what it's like. You remember when Wiley was talking to the guy in Pinellas County who was in charge of all the cameras?
Yes.
And that guy was so proud of those cameras and all the cool technology that they would do.
Look
and
at
that
what we
dude
can do now.
Yeah, and that dude didn't shut up until he actually started figuring out that Adrian may not agree with him on the camera, like on the cameras, and then he shut up. But before that, though, that dude was like singing like a canary.
He's like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
We're
Let me
going to be
tell
able
you
to integrate all these, and we'll be able to pinpoint where anyone is within 0.02 seconds. Isn't that awesome?
We're going to know where all of you are at all times.
Yes. Don't worry about it. There's no privacy problems here, but,
And that's what, I thought when I saw the Alachua County come out with their statement, and I'm like, well, now I feel like I should never go to a football game again, because apparently they have such ruckus football games that they need tanks.
What? What? Are you kidding me? All right, look. So this is one embarrassing cop story, but around the nation, there's also another one that was a pretty good one this week. Why don't we go ahead and tell that story?
Which one?
Oh, the Samir
Philly.
Hill story?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll tell that story. If you may not have heard the story of Samir Hill. Samir Hill, he's a 21-year-old 5'7" point guard for Allegheny College of Maryland.
Oh, you said 5'7"?
5'7".
All right.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's not that
Deceivingly
tall.
No,
small.
he's a point guard.
Yeah.
But, West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playgrounds where he spent most of his days.
Yeah.
Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool, and all shooting some b-ball outside of the school. And a couple of cops who were up to no good started making trouble in his neighborhood. So
At that point, he played. So hold on. Before you go into the Fresh Prince rap, what happened?
well, that's actually what happened. He was West Philadelphia. He's playing basketball, and a couple of cops started talking trash to him outside of the court. So he challenged them to a game, and his friends started recording it on his phone, and of course, this is a college basketball player. So he smoked these cops. He absolutely embarrassed them.
He should have.
Yeah.
Look, don't get me wrong. He's playing for a community college, but even a community college point guard is still got skills.
I mean, it's Allegheny College of Maryland. Allegheny College of Maryland. I don't think it's a community
I don't think
college.
that's a community college.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Still, I don't think he's like
I don't think
1A.
he's 1A.
That team ain't playing for the Final Four. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but still, I mean, he's obviously pretty good.
No, yeah, he's got
And
skills.
so the first one comes out, he embarrasses him, and that one's like, oh, well, I'm a football player, so yeah. So the next cop comes out, and he actually almost puts this cop on his ass because he
Smokes past him.
Yeah, he nearly broke his ankles going around him.
Hold on. He didn't put him on. He didn't put him down because he pushed him down. He put him down because he had moves that made this guy
Just ran around
look
him.
real silly.
Yeah, he crossed up this cop like crazy and just embarrassed him.
Yeah.
So embarrasses these two cops on the court. His friend's filming it and then obviously posts it on the internet. Well, now it becomes a viral sensation and everybody's watching this video. These two cops get embarrassed by this kid. So the next day the cops roll around and put him in...
Same cops.
Same cops roll around, put him in handcuffs, search his car, detain him for over an hour. And of course they're telling him that they're looking for his friend. Which is exactly why they need to put him in handcuffs and search his car.
Because what, they thought he was hiding under the seat?
Yeah.
Well, did they use a tank?
They did not use the tank.
Oh,
They-
well, they didn't use the tank, so it's not so bad. I guess.
They did not
Maybe
use
there
the
was no
tank.
football games going around.
Well, the tank was at the football game that the other cop liked.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean the story of the week is the worst offense in the country is to hurt the pride of the cops because they're gonna crack down on you pretty hard as soon as you embarrass them.
Unbelievable, by the way. Like, really unbelievable that these guys would... Look, you shouldn't have done that to the kid anyway. Like, you shouldn't have wanted to play him in basketball. You knew he was going to... Like, you should have known that he was going to beat you.
Yeah.
You know? And then to be so... Like, just to be so... Your pride so hurt by this that you have to go back there and use your force in order to, basically try to get revenge. Look, in all honesty, I firmly believe that those two cops should be fired for what they did.
Well, the sad part about it is what they did at the beginning is the kind of thing they should be doing. This community policing, getting involved in your community, being nice to the people in your community and participating
play a little
with them.
basketball, be like, wow, you're a great player.
Yeah,
I applaud you.
Remember the story about the cop that stopped and tossed the football around, and we thought that was great. And
Oh,
this
yeah.
is kind of along those same lines. This is community policing and being a part of your community and not just lording over your community, which is kind of what we're getting used to. So they started out doing something that was really a good thing. And they shouldn't at all be embarrassed. I mean, this kid is a college basketball player. They're playing him in full gear. I mean, you can see it in the video. They're wearing their belts and guns and handcuffs and all that. You should not be upset that this kid smoked you. You should laugh and have a good time
Be like,
with
hey,
it.
we had a great time.
If you beat this kid, you were in the wrong profession.
Exactly.
Like, if you can do it in full garb, then you really should be playing for the
You're in the
NBA or at
wrong
least a community
profession.
college somewhere. Like, you should be doing pretty good. Like, yeah, you shouldn't be embarrassed. But here's the thing. The one problem that comes into community policing is you actually have to have police officers who actually want to
That
do
care
that
about the
and
community.
that care about the community. And these two officers don't. Look, there's no way you could compare the cops shooting someone dead to this. But I think that this kind of behavior is the canary in the mine shaft. If you see this kind of behavior with your police, fire them instantly because they're only going to kill someone down the road.
Right.
They're only going to do something that's going to get someone killed. So just get rid of them now, not worry about it.
So they got themselves involved in this basketball game and got embarrassed. And so now they're going to come back and get some retribution on this kid. What happened had somebody flipped them off? How do you think they would have reacted then? I mean, they didn't just get embarrassed at a basketball game. They just got flipped off. They're going to freak out and they're going to come down hard. So you're absolutely right, Alex. This is something to keep your eye out for. I mean, when this kind of behavior, this shows that they don't have the respect for their community that they need.
And last week we talked about the one story where it was on video where the cop shot the man and then kind of put his taser next to him to make it look like he was going for his taser. Well, that same week, and we didn't get to talk about it, a volunteer deputy killed a suspect and claimed that he was going for his taser.
Yes.
And pulled his gun out by accident and shot this man dead.
In the back.
Who was running away. And now it's coming out that they falsified his training to even allow him to be a volunteer deputy that could carry a weapon.
Well, I think that actually the most troubling part about that video for me was after the guy shot him and all the cops gather around and the guy's like, he shot me, I can't breathe. And then you hear the one cop go, F your breath.
Right.
Of course, that's not what he said. He used the full word.
Right.
But, and at the time where you've got protesters chanting, I can't breathe. And now you've got the cops showing what they really think about this. They don't care whether you can breathe. They want you to sit down, shut up, be obedient, do as you're told, and fall in line. That's what they want. They don't care about your breath. They don't care whether you live or die. They care whether you're obedient. And if you're not obedient, then you can die. And it's not their concern.
Yeah, and the video, because they do play the audio of the police officer that shot him, and he almost seems horrified that he pulled out the weapon and shot him. So it definitely was that he he did not mean to pull out a weapon, and you could tell that by the reaction in his voice. But at the end of the day, you had someone who didn't have proper training, didn't have the proper certificates to even have a weapon, who was a volunteer deputy, who someone ran away from, and they shot and killed.
But he was going for a weapon. He was going for the taser, which is a weapon. And it is lethal.
Yeah.
It can be. It's not supposed to be, but it can be.
They have to call it less lethal. They're not allowed to say non-lethal because it is lethal.
Yeah, it can be. Very easily can be. For a lot of different reasons, too, because once you get tasered, you just fall down and you bang your head on the floor. Yeah. That could be enough to kill you right there.
And the shock has killed people. Just the current has killed people.
Yeah. Right. So that's going on. Now, the third one this week. Now, the third one is not such a blatant, at least I don't think it's such a blatant episode of police abuse. This is actually one of these ones where I think there's a little bit going on here. So there was a video release. There was a dash cam that was shown. It was in Arizona. There was a gentleman. What's that? Oh, you want to take a break?
It's 11:30. Do you want to take a break and then we'll get into this one?
And then get into the story.
Yeah. Let's take a break. Then we'll get into the third one. We got some other stuff in Florida we got to talk about as well. So, let's take a little bit of break here real quick. Website, 1787network.com, 1787network.com. We'll be back after these messages.
Hi, this is Gary Johnson, and you're listening to the 1787 Radio Network.
Join with libertarians from across the Sunshine State as we gather for the 2015 Libertarian Party of Florida State Convention, scheduled for June 5th through the 7th. The LPF State Convention will take place at the Quality Inn & Suites Conference Center in historic Newport Richey, Florida. Gary Johnson is the keynote speaker for the convention. Other speakers in attendance include Ben Swan, Adam Kokesh, Tony Stiles, and more. For more information, visit the website at lpf2015.com. Once again, the website address is lpf2015.com.
Facts about the red light cameras. Fact, you are guilty until proven innocent. The Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution grants you the presumption of innocence. Fact, red light cameras cause accidents. Accidents are up on an average of 40% at intersection with cameras. Fact, cameras punish technical foul violations. Over 80% of tickets are written when the red light is on, under 1/2 second. Join the fight at www.banthecams.org. www.banthecams.org.
Liberty starts with a like. Facebook.com/Liberty Underground.
If you received a ticket in Florida, contact Oropesa Law Offices, 800-774-9883 or tacklemyticket.com. Attorney Oropesa understands the stress associated with being charged with a traffic ticket. In many non-criminal ticket cases, there may be no court appearance, no points, and no traffic school. Attorney Oropesa handles criminal violations, DUI, and license suspension matters. Don't face these serious legal matters alone. Initial consultation is free. Call now and you will be advised about any potential defense, constitutional rights violations, the possibility of having your driving privileges restored, or preventing a suspension from going into effect. If you've been classified as a habitual traffic offender, have a driver's license suspension matter, or a pending DUI case, call Oropesa Law Offices now so you can be advised about your particular case. Call 1-800-774-9883 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or visit tacklemyticket.com. Main office in Pinellas County and serving all of the Tampa Bay area. Find out more at tacklemyticket.com. Mention Liberty Underground and get 25% off.
You know Going Postal offers shipping with UPS, FedEx, and DHL International, and they're a full-service post office. And Going Postal is not just your one-stop shop for shipping. They offer copying, laminating, faxing, packaging, and they even have a notary public service. Visit our friends at Going Postal at the following convenient locations: Palm Harbor at the corner of Tampa Road and County Road 1 in the Sweet Bay Plaza, St. Pete on 66th Street just south of Tyrone Boulevard near Publix, and be sure to visit their newest location at 35595 US 19 North at Alderman Road next to Publix in Palm Harbor.
When the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them. Auto Owners Insurance has been recognized as highest in customer satisfaction with the auto insurance claims experience 5 years in a row by J.D. Power and Associates. For award information, go to jdpower.com. Call Row Insurance in Newport Richey today at 727-376-0030.
Welcome back to Liberty Underground on the 1787 Radio Network. All right, so before the break, we talked a little bit about this. Let's get into this story a little bit here. So this is a gentleman by the last name of Valencia, is in Arizona, and basically the end of the story is he gets run over by a cop. And normally you would go, well, you guys seem to be pretty much, giving the benefit of the doubt every time to the other person and not to the cop, so you guys are probably going to say the same thing here. However, in looking at this one's a little bit different. This guy was walking down the street, firing his weapon. Earlier,
a weapon. I don't know if it was his.
Well, yeah, I think he stole it. Well, it was his at the time. Possession's 9 cents of the law.
He had the weapon. We're calling it his.
Whether he stole it or not is a different story. So this guy robs a 7-Eleven. Then, an hour later, he set fire to a church. Then a little bit after that, he stole a car, entered a home, stole a car. He did a whole bunch of bad stuff. So I watched the dash cam. He had the dash cam of two different cop cars. The first one is a cop car that is telling this guy to stop doing what he's doing. And he's walking down the street with this gun. Get away from me, get away from me. And then he shoots the weapon up in the air. Now, there's another cop that's speeding to this area, along with other cops, because there was another cop speeding on the other way. And there was a cop way down the street, at the end of the street, basically trying to, I think, blocking off traffic and stuff like that. And this guy was getting ready to go into a place where there was a whole bunch of other people there. You can't really tell too much about it, but you can tell a little bit that it was a big, huge parking lot. Looked like a shopping center kind of place. So this one cop is following him. This next cop barrels out of nowhere, comes over, and just runs this dude over. Now, let me say it this way. It looked to me that he was not trying to run him over with the front of the car. He was trying to hit him with as far to the side of the car as possible.
Yeah, he clipped him.
Yeah,
like he was trying to clip him and take him out. Now, don't get me wrong.
And he totally did.
Oh, yeah, he totally did. Now, this dude and this cop was going fast. Like there was a like a metal, or not a metal, but like a cement wall after that. Not a big cement wall, like a half wall.
Yeah.
And he smashes through that cement wall too. It busts up his windshield and all this other stuff.
Right.
And he clips this guy. Now the guy doesn't die. The guy does. He does.
He survives.
He went flying through the air.
Look,
though.
when they showed when I saw the video though, I'm like, oh, this guy's dead. This guy got killed. Like he's dead.
Yeah.
And he wasn't dead. He was in a hospital for a couple of days in serious condition, and then he was released. Not released, but he was released. But
released to jail.
Released to jail.
But this is one of those ones where, look, the police are there to protect the citizenry. If you got a guy with a big gun walking down the street
that's shooting the weapon.
shooting it. Now again, you can walk around all day long with a gun as far as I'm concerned. I don't really care. But if they've suspected you of some stuff, they've asked you to stop, and you start firing your weapon, you're in a little bit of a hairy situation right there. I mean, I think that, the cops may have to do something to you in regards to this. Like, they shouldn't just let you go. And if they're asking you to stop and you won't stop to identify yourself, I mean, the thing is this, like, the cops are in a position right now where, look, I think personally that people should be allowed to walk around with firearms.
Yes.
Totally agree with that. Think it's the case. But if you're walking around with the firearm, I do also think that the police have every right to approach you and to ask you what you're doing. Once they give you the answer, you guys agree with this or no? Don't agree with this?
I don't think they necessarily have the right to approach you and start asking you questions. I think that everybody has a right to have a weapon on them. If you're pointing it at someone, if you're shooting the weapon, that's completely different.
All right. Well, okay. Let's go with. Let me give you another scenario then. They think that this guy did a bunch of bad stuff like the day before and the morning of and all that kind of stuff. Do the police then have the right to go up and to question this person though?
They had the right to question the person whether he had a weapon or not at that point.
At that point. Okay. So this guy matched the descriptions. Mario Valencia is his name. And so the police try to, the first cop tries to be like, look, man, what are you doing? And this guy turns the corner and just starts walking down the street. And then the other cop hits him. There's a lot of police abuse that's going on right now. And I think one of the things that is the detriment to the police right now is that because of all of the bad instances that happened, where we talked about it earlier today. We talked about, playing basketball, you get beaten in basketball, you harass the guy. You get flicked off, you use a tank to pull the guy over. The police are losing any benefit of the doubt. They really are. They're losing the benefit of the doubt. So when things like this happen, people look at not just this instance, but look at everything in its totality to make a determination as to whether the police were right or wrong.
Absolutely.
Yes.
What do you guys think?
No, I agree with you.
But in looking at this one, though, you might be able to make the case here.
Well, I mean, the guy was walking around with a weapon and firing it off, and he was posing a danger to the public with this weapon. And I don't necessarily think that the cops were obligated to get out of their car and pull their weapons on him and shoot him, any more than I think what they did was actually, whether it was unreasonable force or not can be debatable. But was it the right move? I think it possibly could have been. I don't necessarily want to criticize the officer too much because he made the call right there in that moment. Do I pull up next to this guy, hop out, draw my weapon, and hope I don't get shot in the 3 seconds it takes for that to happen? Or do I just run him down and incapacitate him right now and end this situation? And
with the possibility of killing him, though.
Possibility, but if he'd have got out of his car and drawn his weapon, he still could have possibly killed him if he filled him full of lead. I mean, this guy could
is higher for that.
Yeah, I mean, this guy could have been killed by a police officer regardless of how this went down because the guy was armed and hostile, firing off the weapon anyway. Right. So, I mean, this guy had already endangered his own life through his actions and put himself in a very bad situation. And at this point, the cops aren't really obligated. I mean, he's carrying a weapon. He's firing this weapon. They're not obligated to give him the benefit of the doubt and say, well, maybe he's going to get peaceful and subdued when we show up with our guns. Right. I mean,
I think at some point you have to worry about the public safety, that this guy is indiscriminately firing a weapon, and that even if he's not trying to shoot someone, that a bullet can hit someone just for being there. And that at that point you have to either, if you're telling him stop, and he's not, you have to start worrying about the public safety because that is what the police are there for. So I don't necessarily have an issue with the way this was handled given the situation of him firing a weapon indiscriminately in public.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I got to go with this one. I think that the cops may not necessarily be in the wrong on this one.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that they're necessarily in the right, but they're not necessarily in the wrong either. Right. You look at the procedures and what they should have done, they probably didn't follow correct procedure there. But were they wrong in doing it? Were they wrong in handling it this way? Not necessarily. I mean, he made a judgment call there at that time, and it's quite possible that he saved more lives by doing that because stray bullets kill people as well. Right. Yeah. And if the cops would have gotten a gunfight with him at that moment, their bullets could go stray. So it maybe is a better situation the way that he handled it.
Yeah, maybe. Again, and I do want to highlight this as if you wonder, police, why you're not getting the benefit of the doubt in situations like this, look at all the other things that are going on to understand the why. Right. Because part of this is on you guys, collectively as police. Part of it is on you as to why this is why people look at any incident that involves the police right now with a suspicious eye. And I wish that wasn't the case, but I'm not the one that's doing it. I'm not pulling over people for flicking me off with a tank.
Right.
I'm not going back to harass a guy that made me look foolish on a basketball court when I challenged a point guard at a college. Like, you guys are putting yourselves in these situations, not us. It's not our fault you guys are being, jerky. So.
Well, no, and I think that any time that you have a suspect that has been injured, you have to look at it critically. And you have to make sure that the officer was protecting other people in doing that, and that it was a credible threat to other people or themselves. I think shooting a weapon indiscriminately in public is a credible threat. But I think that this has to be looked at critically, just like any other situation where a suspect is harmed in the apprehension. I think you always have to look at everything that was going on and look at it critically. There are times where the police force is warranted, when the use of force they should have done that. They needed to protect the public. But I just think that there's so much of them using it when it's not a credible threat that you're automatically getting people saying, well, no, they should never do it. No, there is a time where this should be done. There is a proper place for the use of force by a police officer, and this may be one of those times.
Yeah. All right, now let's get back to Florida, and let's get back to, again, we're talking about this one story. Let's talk about the next story of something that is absolutely scary and very concerning here in the state of Florida. Jacksonville. The second city.
All of Jacksonville is actually scary.
Yeah, I was about to say Jacksonville is scary.
But
you could have just ended there.
But Jacksonville is now the second city, first one on the East Coast, to now have GE lighting. And what this is it's part of the GE Intelligent City Initiative. What they have now is street light.
Hold on. I want to know why General Electric is so worried about street lights, by the way. Like, shouldn't they just stick to washing machines and dryers and stoves?
Well, how would they get the ability to pay no taxes if they dealt with those things?
That's true.
Because it's stuff like this why they're able to do this. So these lights is part of a pilot program. They're LED lights, which are more cost efficient than regular lights. Which, honestly, look, I think that the cities should absolutely buy street lights that are more efficient to use, because it would waste less of our taxpayer dollars with you doing that.
Yeah, but unless it's like the street lights that we have here, because I'm sure that those are some kind of cost-efficient, electricity-efficient lights. And you know what? Those aren't lights. Those are like, the little light bulb from the night light. There is no light given. When you walk around at night here, you still feel like you're in the dark.
Well, those are the old ones. The new ones actually do give more light.
Okay.
The new ones absolutely
Because the
give
ones
more
in
light.
our neighborhood city council members, if you're listening, the ones in our neighborhood suck.
Yeah, they do. But so here's the thing. If it was just new LED lights, that would be a cool
That
thing.
would be okay.
Boy, this ain't it, boy. So the lights, which come at no cost to the taxpayers during the pilot program, will be
during the pilot program, by the way. That's the important part.
Will be interconnected with one another and will collect real-time data as seen in a presentation by GE. So not only will the LED lights be more cost efficient, they will also connect lighting infrastructures to the internet. GE's Predict software will then analyze the data so that the city can use it. Microphones are on it. Cameras are on it.
Wait a minute. How does a street light with an internet connection become more cost efficient than a street light with just a bulb?
Like, let's go back to the days of incandescent bulbs that are like 30 cents a piece, and I guarantee you they will be better off than the microphone-laden, internet-accessible bulbs that they're putting in right now.
All right. Here's this. No. Hold on. I want to read this one part. I know you guys don't like me reading, but I want to read this because I want to make sure I get a word for word so you understand how scary this crap is. The possibilities are growing quickly, Jamie Urek, Vice President and General Manager of GE Lighting, told reporters. He said to think of it like smartphones. At first, many smartphones were limited in the application that they had. Now the apps are nearly limitless. Right now, the intelligent streetlights can be applied to in so many ways, but through creativity, those options can grow. These people are going to be using this, and they want to put these everywhere. These people are going to be using this to track all of us all the time, 24/7, 365. Think about it. How close is a streetlight to where you live? Go on. Look outside your door.
Oh, no, we have one across the street.
Yeah. This is what they want to do with every one of the streetlights. They want to see everything. And this is only the beginning. Now, I know you can go, well, this is just a wild conspiracy theory. Now, this is an article from the Jacksonville Business Journal. And this is what they're doing in Jacksonville. This is their... Look, we have technology advancements that are going on at a phenomenal rate. And I'm very happy about this. I think it's a great thing. It's unfortunate that we have so many criminals in office right now. How many stories have we told you about criminal activity from our elected officials after criminal activity? How our police officers are at a very, very consistently intimidating the public if they feel that they were wronged in some way, like they were disrespected in some way, how they use the force of government to go after these people. We've heard from Snowden how the information that the NSA is collecting is being utilized for personal reasons as well as for, looking for terrorists, that under the guise of safety, they put red light cameras all over the place that have made you less safe and not more safe, how they put cameras in all of the government buildings so they can identify exactly who's going in there, not because they're scared of any of these people, because they want to track your every move. The NSA is tracking your every move. This is not a wild conspiracy theory, folks. This is what they're doing. Whether you like it or not, whether you think it's a good idea or not, those systems that they're putting in place can be used against you at the whim of those in charge. And they're not necessarily elected officials. They're unelected bureaucrats that have been there for a long time that want to keep their jobs under any set of circumstances possible. Do we really think that we have the government that it has any kind of moral authority to use any of this equipment?
Oh, no, not at all.
Not at all. In fact, I think Sarah Connor would probably kill that man for starting Skynet.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just a horrible, horrible idea. Internet connected streetlights? I mean, seriously? Everything needs an internet connection? Are they going to add Bluetooth next?
Yeah.
What?
Well, look, and this is something else. David DeCamp, he's a city spokesman, said, the data is proprietary to GE. The data will be hosted on GE's lighting network. City and JEA may request data and use it internally, states the signed letter of intent dated January 30th, which DeCamp referenced in a phone interview. Data may be shared with third parties only with written consent of GE Lighting. Again, they're going to use this data is going to be there for the highest bidder.
Which brings up the story here from John Rice, Vice Chairman and CEO of Global Growth Operations at General Electric, who in February of 2013 admitted that they get hacked all the time.
Yeah.
That data is not safe with GE.
Yeah. Okay. So let's look at this. You're a black hat, right? You're a black hat hacker. And you do this stuff for evil reasons. You want to give information to criminals. So all they have to do, if they're going to target a couple people, is hack into the system that has all of this information in it to figure out when you've left your house, what you have going on, so they can just roll up in there whenever they want to and do whatever they want to do because you've made the infrastructure possible to do this because GE is not even protecting their data as best as they could. That's scary as all get out. The cities are putting this stuff up. Again, this is only the second city in America. San Diego was the first. This is the second. So let's say you even trust the government. Let's say that you're like, there's no way that they'll do this to me, and you go to the DMV to confess your sins all the time, like South Park. Like you go there to confess your sins because you really trust the government. Do you trust GE? Do you trust them to actually be able to protect that data or to stop someone from hacking this stuff? Because they've already proven now on their own website that they can't.
I mean, I typed in General Electric hacked into Google, and the results, about 344,000 results in 0.36 seconds. And it's all, I mean, GE gets hacked all the time. And there is a lot of concern about these systems that it puts the control of public utilities into the hands of hackers. All they have to do is break into the control systems. And they admit that these control systems are targeted all the time by hackers.
Heck yeah, they are. This data is invaluable.
It's not about trusting the government. It's about trusting criminals. I mean, do you trust criminals to not be able to get past these security systems? Well, I don't. There isn't a lock that mankind has made that another man didn't circumvent at some point. We can, for every security system you put in place, the people who break security systems are 2 steps ahead of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, what's the problem with just undoing the regular light bulb they have in there right now and putting an LED light bulb in there?
Yeah.
Like, why do you need the rest of it? You don't need the rest of it unless you're trying to find ways in which to control the general public.
Put an LED light bulb in the street light, put a solar panel on top of it, done. That's
it-
all we need.
Call it a day.
That
Call
is
it a day.
that is the end of the innovation of the street light. That's all we need.
Yeah. I don't need a microphone or a camera on the street light.
Or an internet connection.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we have enough of this stuff going on now the way it is. Have you people not seen 1984? I mean, have you not... Look, how many movies have you seen where you've watched where the government was able to hack all this stuff and do all this stuff based off of the technology that they put into place? Again...
Did you see Die Hard 4?
Exactly.
I mean, this is...
I think it was Live Free or Die Hard, but we're...
Live Free or Die Hard, yeah. But I mean, this is the exact kind of system putting in place and make those schemes possible.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I know it's like, oh, this is a wild conspiracy theory and the government would never do this stuff. They've already done it. Like, the government has already, it's already been proven, it's on record, it's well documented, that the government has already done all this stuff. Whether you want to admit it or not, we don't have people in charge that have your best intentions at heart. We just don't. And I'm sorry that we don't. I really wish we didn't. Look, we wouldn't have to do this radio show if they had your best intentions at heart. The problem is that they don't. And the other problem is that far too many people that listen to this stuff don't fully understand the problem and are still apt to trust some of these politicians even when they know they shouldn't. I mean, not to bring it all the way around to this, but I mean, that's what it comes down to.
You're absolutely right.
No, you're right.
I mean,
that's why we
serious.
were quiet. We have nothing to add.
Yeah.
You summed it up perfectly.
Gee, man, Eddie, I'm telling you, man, you gotta know that this stuff is coming to Clearwater. This stuff is coming to St. Pete. We know the people that are on the city councils and county commissions over there, and we know these guys are salivating. I mean, I think that there is drool all over their suits.
In fact, they're probably courting GE right now. They're probably not waiting for GE to come to them.
Oh yeah.
They're like,
why don't
hey,
guys
you
do
want
this?"
another city for a pilot program?
Yeah, we're game. Let's do this. I love watching our citizens. You know, like these guys are just, man, we have too many authoritarian psychopaths in office for us to have this kind of technology right now. Like, this is the worst time to have this stuff.
No,
the worst time.
I think even if you had great people in office, this technology should not be used.
If you had great people in office, it wouldn't be there.
Well, that's the thing; it wouldn't be used.
I mean,
If you had great people in office, they'd be going, let's put LED lights and solar panels on the street lights and call it a day.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they would do because those things would end up paying for themselves.
Right.
Seems like a simple proposition to me.
Every once in a while, a light bulb would go out.
You know, look, the city's goal should be how can we provide our services the cheapest way possible to spend the least amount of money that we can possibly spend,
And still get the level of service that we need.
If we're gonna have this government, we're gonna have government. Which again, none of us are anarchists here. You know, we all want a certain level of government. Some of us like libraries, some of us like cops, some of us like fire department. You know, some of us like these people, some of us don't, but you know, some of us do. But this is not what we're talking about here. Like, we don't need this crap. You know, it's the absurdity of Pasco, of NACO, buying 4 Harley Davidson motorcycles.
No, Victory motorcycles.
Oh, I'm sorry, Victory motorcycles.
Which are more expensive.
Yeah, which are more expensive. And then trying to make the claim that he saved us money. It's like, you know what it's like? It's like when your wife or your girlfriend comes back from the store, and this is not to denigrate wives or women, but will come back to the store buying something that they know that wasn't going to save us money, but then tell us, I got this 50% off, so it's obviously a great deal.
I saved us money because I got it on sale.
And you got to listen to them because they cook your food.
Yeah. You never want to rock the boat too hard because you know that you never know what's going to be in the mirror.
They're going to deal with their level of force as well, but I still can voluntarily stay there or not. These guys are worse than a girlfriend because they stole the money, then they spent the money, and then they want me to be happy about the money that they stole and the money that they spent. So my apologies to women that do that because it is maybe a little bit of a bad scenario.
Because we never take your wallet and do that.
No. All right, guys. All right, well, that's the show this week, guys. The website, 1787network.com, 1787network.com. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope we didn't scare the crap out of you too much.
Which we probably did.
Well, we probably did. But that's okay, because you know what? Sometimes on a Friday, you need the crap scared out of you. And I hope we were able to do that in an effective and entertaining manner.
Happy weekend.
Have a great weekend.